I rate him as a manager, this is not a progressive appointment. This is an appointment to hold order, to keep the club probably in the Premier League and to give its best opportunity maybe somehow to find its way through the Europa League.
Dyche's first game in charge at home to Porto in the Europa League is live on talkSPORT this Thursday. Now, the love-in between Mourinho and Newcastle continues ahead of Benfica's trip to St James's Park in the Champions League live on talkSPORT tonight. Jose's admitted he gets emotional going back to his former mentor Sir Bobby's old stomping ground, and Eddie Howe's excited to share the sideline with one of his heroes.
He's someone that I hugely admire. Having come up against him before in the Premier League, and I think as a younger coach really admired the teams that he built at Chelsea in particular.
Our live coverage gets underway from 7 p.m. tonight, while Man City's trip to Villarreal is live over on talkSPORT 2. Now, Vincent Kompany signed a new contract to remain as Bayern Munich head coach until the summer of 2029. It's a 2-year extension to his original deal with the German champions. And as the Ashes fast approaches, Steve Smith says he's ready to step up to captain Australia if Pat Cummins isn't fit in time. Cummins hasn't started bowling yet as he continues his recovery from a back injury.
talkSPORT News.
Is the national inquiry into grooming gangs in crisis? And Boris Johnson admits to the COVID inquiry, we let down a lot of kids on exams during the pandemic. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With expert technicians in all our centres across the country, we'll keep your car's inbuilt safety tech in top condition this winter. Book today at quickfit.com.
A day of sunny spells and scattered showers, heaviest rain in the northwest with much brighter in the southeast.
Thank you for that, Andy.
Thank you.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. That's the first thing you hear.
What a great start.
Great, isn't it?
Oh, for goodness.
When the red light comes on, just the 25 years. No better today
26.
than he was on day one.
No,
Anyway,
I can't argue with
somehow, this is still Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Well, this afternoon, Andy, apart from your slightly chesty cough,
No.
what's coming up?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, Dean Ashton tells us whether he fears for his old club West Ham. I do. We look at the Spanish opposition facing City and Arsenal tonight, and we'll chat to a man who beat the world's best cyclist after a late night and a McDonald's.
And the McDonald's, yeah. We're also after your examples of Arteta-like housery. And poet, TV mogul, co-creator of the Royal Family, and most importantly of all today, Forest fan, Henry Normal, joins us for a chat.
There's all this plus much-travelled former Reading and Bristol Rovers striker Jamie Cureton tells us why he's playing on at 50, amazing, and ex-Newcastle midfielder Liam O'Brien on how it feels to hear the Toon Army still sing his name.
Yeah, all those years on, Liam O'Brien has still got a song. Anyway, we'll chat about that later on. Because currently it's 4 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon,
You're
Paul.
a vision in brown today, Andy.
Not bad, is it?
Who was it said never wear brown in town?
Our old boss.
Our old boss, yeah. The new bosses don't mind what you wear.
You can wear whatever you
Within
like.
reason, obviously.
That was...
Just don't wear that vest again you had on during the birthday spread.
No, I don't, definitely don't want to wear that. That was one of the most one-sided 1-0s in history.
Yeah, it was a shocker, wasn't it?
was shocking,
I think West Ham fans got every right to be worried after what they saw. It was 2-0, by the way.
Oh, 2-0.
Yeah,
I wrote that at 1-0.
Yeah, it was a late.
Oh, yeah, I've written underneath. Brentford deserved that second goal. Yeah, that's right.
Well, they had enough chances to score it, didn't they?
But they made Brentford look like PSG. I mean, with respect. It's ridiculous.
No.
Brentford's tactics are, I'm not being critical, but they are very much a rugby style, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for them. It's great. But they put that ball down the line. They know that a defender's got to knock it off for a throw-on.
Yeah.
And Coyote's throw is unbelievable.
Keith Andrews said he wants to make them a less predictable team than maybe in the past. And I'm thinking, I don't know. It's a lot of long throws.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's
really?
what they do. I mean,
I could have predicted that.
You know, but it worked for them, and they had no answer for it, West Ham.
And they were good for it. They played some decent stuff. They were well on top. The worrying thing is, we're going to talk to Dean Ashton, and the Moose was bemoaning the situation and some of the issues. And Dean got a name check, as you'll discover, from the Moose yesterday. But the biggest problem is that the way that the crowd feed off the players and the players feed off the crowd, and it's a bit of a toxic mix. And I think most fans, at some point in their time, will know what that's like. When you know the players are on edge because the fans are on edge, and the fans are on edge because the players are on edge, and it's really difficult to get out of that spiral, and that's the issue they've got, because relegation sides, I mean, West Ham, they played us, they had a good 10 minutes, but as soon as the first goal goes in, I don't know, they just seem to lose belief.
I mean, how they didn't score to the 42nd minute was unbelievable.
I mean, the one bit of quiet, this is the thing with Jeroboam, that's the other knock-on effect. It doesn't matter who your father-in-law is. There'll come a point, and who knows, Liverpool may need someone in that position pretty soon. And, so there does come a point when, it doesn't matter, even Danny will be saying to him, even the father-in-law say, son, you got to go for your career. I mean, the one bit of quality from him was that brilliant shot. We had no time to react.
Good save, wasn't it?
Keller saved it.
The semi-automated offside wasn't working. It made me quite nostalgic. I like the old red and blue lines.
Do you like? It's nice to see them back.
Were they any slower? I thought they were just as quick. as the semi-automated.
They were. I tell you what. It is old school. I even saw Kevin Danso the other day. There was a towel in the corner for him. Long throws, bombing in. We have gone back in time, of course.
There's only one team not doing long throws.
That's your lot, is it?
Yeah. Saturday they had one. I was saying yesterday they had one in a great area perfect for Coyote to chuck it in. It went back all the way back to Sanchez, and he just gave it away.
So you have got a long throw specialist?
No.
Oh, you haven't got anybody?
No. We haven't got anybody. We should have somebody. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult to find somebody. It's not that much of a skill, is it? I mean, I suppose it's just it's something you can learn, isn't it? I would have thought if you can take a throw in, you're quite strong, you've got a strong upper body, you can take
something else I want to see come back,
well.
Andy, from the world of football. And I'll just show my iPad, very technical this, to the camera. I want to see the return of sideburns.
Oh,
Look at that. That's it's on Twitter today. That's Paul Reaney, the great Paul Reaney, still very much with us.
I used to have those as well.
And big old sidies.
Yeah, nice.
And so with everything coming back, let's have some long sidies. Those kind of Amos Brearley, one for, the quite big ones.
We know what they're called.
Yeah, we can't call them that on national radio.
No.
Grips is the second word I'm
very
looking
much
for.
so, yeah.
So, but anyway, let's bring back side. Anything else you want to bring back and tell us today? Unfortunate for the Atletico players training yesterday at Arsenal that the showers weren't working. And I don't know if, I'm guessing Mikel Arteta, one of his coaching staff, was listening to the warm-up. As I was driving to Tottenham on Sunday, I was listening to Max and Barry, and they had Dion Dublin on, who went through the litany of S-housery that John Beck used to do during the days at Dion's and indeed Max's Cambridge United. And there was some, it's very inventive. It's some of the things that, and not letting the shower suddenly not working after a training session struck me. I'm not suggesting at all.
The only thing is,
it was deliberate.
The Atletico coach,
he deserves it. That's the sort of stunt he'd pull.
Yeah, but the coach that they drive in, waiting outside the training area or the ground, wherever they were, drive straight back to the hotel and they have a shower at the hotel. I couldn't see any point.
It's a mind games, isn't it?
Is it?
You come off, you want to have a little shower, you don't have to go back to the hotel, go to your rooms, get a little marginal. Look, it was.
I can't imagine that's the first time in their lives they've lounged about with a bit.
I'm not seriously suggesting it, but it did strike me that
dried perspiration on them. But
maybe we should find Dion from Sunday going through all the stunts because it was so inventive, and some of the kids out there probably won't believe that a top level manager was pulling stunts like that.
It's amazing. It's Simeone's 751st game tonight, which is why it's so funny when he's linked with clubs in England. You think, number one, he doesn't speak English. Number two, he's never leaving there.
He's not, is he? No.
Of course.
You do sense that, not at this stage anyway. No. It's not going to happen, is it?
I don't think so.
Well, anything else you've noticed?
Well, I've got a theory about Graham Potter and Sweden.
Oh, we're going to talk about that later.
Because it is, on the face of it, I know he did all right at Ostersund's.
Yeah.
I mean, blimey, since then it's been a chapter, a whole chapter of quite poor.
Well, I mean, it wasn't bad at Brighton.
Yeah, but, was that down to him or was that down to Brighton? Well, subsequently, I think we know it's down to Brighton. I just thought, perhaps in Sweden, he's got this great personality that comes out, that they like, that he's very funny.
Well, we're going to hear him speak in Swedish later on.
But it is amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? These managers, they always seem to get another job. Let's see what happens.
I mean, he's effectively got a job for 2 games, possibly 3 games, and then if he gets them to the World Cup, he'll take them to the World Cup.
Yeah.
This is it's basically a 2-game contract. Well, they got that playoff chance next year, so 3 games, I guess. Now, we often like to holiday in various islands. We used to like going to McLaren Island. This was Steve McLaren. That little bit of hair that Steve McLaren wouldn't give up on the front of his head that had basically broken away from the back of the hair. And it was a small island, wasn't it? And we had some lovely afternoons. We'll have some lovely times on McLaren Island, didn't we? Had a couple of weeks there once. And then Martinez Island, Roberto Martinez.
Didn't need an umbrella on McLaren Island.
No, you didn't need
weather.
Right, the weather, honestly, every day of the year.
Go on.
Martinez Island, we'd go there, and that was quite nice, wasn't it, Roberto Martinez? I think he's kind of cut the grass since then. He's less, and this is not an island; it's more a peninsula. It's Damsgaard Peninsula.
Oh, Damsgaard Peninsula.
Yeah, this is Mikkel Damsgaard, who's got a kind of
the world's oldest 24-year-old.
It looks like a jet. It's like a jetty. It's still attached, but if you look at it, it's like It's almost,
He's such a good player.
I'll just show it there to the camera there. Look, it's just like, it's still attached to the mainland. It hasn't broken away. It probably will over the next 2,000 or 3,000 years, like sort of, we did with France or whatever. I don't know if that stacks up. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, just some of the play. If you've got any other little islands that you've been to from the world of sport, bring back sideburns and other matters besides. talksport.com. Text 81089, tweet to TSH&J. Long throws, 90% of foul throws. Do you know what? This has come from Dave from Lincoln.
A lot of people think this.
Yeah. Linos don't flag the trailing leg.
There was one last night that got flagged.
Yeah.
A long throw. Yeah, he lifted his...
Like shepherding the ball out. Obstruction has been dropped from the rules, says Dave. Yeah, let's bring back obstruction.
Right.
Don't you remember that? When you used to shield the ball, going back to a keeper, sometimes or you just got in front of someone, they would say, obstruction. No one shouts obstruction anymore.
Obstruction anymore. No.
Try it next week. You'll get a laugh from everybody over about 60.
It's true.
Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717223344. I'd like to bring back the old 10-yard circle they put on the screen when a free kick was taken. The bloke that used to paint that line was so quick you never saw him, says John. Do you remember that?
What, the centre circle?
Yeah, no, I just think they used to paint it on. Was it on the TV? Or is this on the TV coverage, John? I'm all a bit confused. Anyway, talksport.com.
Apropos of nothing.
Apropos of nothing. I just got a bit confused.
Thanks very much. Do you see this, though, that Erling Haaland, I love these sort of stories. He's added a motor to his fleet, a £250,000 Lamborghini. Well, he earns 500 grand a week. It's half a week's wages. I wish I could buy a car for half a week's money. It's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose it is, Sandy, yeah. I mean, probably pay some tax on that, I would imagine, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, no.
That green, I saw a kind of, I think it was an Aston Martin
that green.
SUV. I saw one, because there's a few footballers live around.
It's a rare matte green Hurricane Sterato.
Oh, yeah.
What a tremendous player.
Harry tried to sign him.
Tremendous player he was.
Kevin Bond Kev's had a look at Hurricane Sterato, reckons he could fit right in.
Tim Vickery said he was the star of the Under-20 World Championships.
He thinks he's going to be a big bag. Chelsea have already signed him. He's 11. Chelsea have signed him. He's playing next week.
He could be good.
Hurricane Serato. Anyway, we'll move on, shall we?
Yes.
Dean Ashton is going to join us. Sorry, West Ham fans, you may choose to look away now. It was bad. It was bad and it was worrying. Jamie Cureton joins us. He played for Queen's Park Rangers. He's now playing at 50 for Kings Park Rangers, thereby completing...
There's only Emperor's Park Rangers left.
That's it. But he plays on, does Jamie? We often speak to him, and And it's great. It's fantastic.
I really admire that.
I do. He just loves playing.
Just loves football. It's great, isn't it?
Graham Potter in Swedish. We'll bring you some of that later on. We'll talk about how Olaf Lundin, we're going to chat with the Swedish football journalist, told us last week that Graham Potter was in the frame. And sure enough, he's now landed the gig to try and get them to the World Cup after a terrible start. They've got enough quality. And Mjällby, what a story that is. Have you heard Breakfast? I think it was the chairman on this morning. We'll pick up on that with Olaf. This is 1,400 people live in Mjällby, and they've just
very
won.
Remote, isn't
they
it?
could break the Swedish record for the most points in a season against sort of Malmö, one of the giants, of course.
They're very, very far north. They probably don't need floodlights.
Yeah, quite possibly. Olaf will tell us more about that later on. We're going to be joined by Liam O'Brien, as Newcastle fans know. There is still a song for Liam all these years on. Henry Normal talks a bit of Forest as Sean Dyche gets the gig. And we're going to look at some of the opposition facing Arsenal and City tonight. And we'll talk Newcastle, of course, with Liam. So a busy show as always. To get in touch, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. 03717223344. It's Hawksbee and Jacobs with our good friends at Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station. Yes, our old mate Crackers was pointing out there is someone poised to fire off the bubbles machine when West Ham score, but
Blimey.
they may have to lay her off at this rate.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, worrying times at the London Stadium. Before the game, quite prescient really, the Moose, West Ham fan of long-standing talkSPORT reporter Ian Abrahams, joined Adrian Durham at the London Stadium and talked about the poor recruitment at the club in the last 20 years.
The last time West Ham had a decent strike force was Dean Ashton, Bobby Zamora and Marlon Harewood. That was 2009, 2006 Marlon got West Ham to an FA Cup final. So 20 years. 20 years of spending a lot of money on strikers who haven't worked out. It's more than, I calculated the other day, it's more than 50 strikers have been brought in who've been, in my words, useless. And you know, Paul Crook has not been good either. I know he hasn't been fit for most of the time, but he hasn't been good. The recruitment is appalling. You know, apart from Paqueta and Jared Bowen. And by the way, I can tell you, because I know it for a fact, that West Ham were offered Jared Bowen 6 months before they bought him. They bought him in the January transfer window 5 years ago. They were offered him in the summer transfer window before that and didn't deem him good enough. And then they went and spent 20-25 million pounds on him in the January. So they kind of... He's
definitely good enough, by the way.
He's definitely good enough. They kind of got a little bit lucky on that because they could have said no and he could have gone somewhere else in the meantime.
There we are, Ronnie and Abrahams talking about the poor recruitment. Getting a name check there was one of that fine strike force of Moose's memory. Dean Ashton. Hi, Dean.
Yeah, good afternoon, gents. And yeah, I think he's right in a sense that at the time we had 4 that were of a real quality, and we had to, you know, fight every single day in training to make sure that was our spot come a weekend when there was obviously 2 strikers playing. And that area of the pitch has been something that's been pretty terribly handled in terms of recruitment. But then on the other hand, you've got to say, well, David Moyes was able to produce a European trophy and a high Premier League finish with the players that they had. Players that are still there, by the way, that have fallen off a cliff all of a sudden.
The amount mostly that was Antonio, though, and
a lot of it was, yeah. I mean,
great point, yeah.
The tinkering that that Nuno did last night is quite worrying as well, because it makes you think that he's had a look at some of these players. I mean, you know, he had square pegs, round holes, etc. He did some quite weird and wonderful team selections. So he's obviously gone and had a look, and he's probably quite troubled by what he sees.
I think it's truly alarming, if I'm honest, with the team selection. Magassa's on the bench, who you brought in as that holding midfield player to give you a bit more defensive structure, and Irving plays, and the fullbacks are opposite sides. The forward line looked what you would have expected with the players that he's got, but I think what's most worrying, not only is it the 15 shots that you allow the opposition at home in the first half against your goal, it was that first goal in particular that I looked at. You know, their defender gets it, easily plays it into midfield, no pressure. He gets his head up and plays a long pass straight through the middle of your defence, and they score. That is very, very worrying. Players that are good enough for the Premier League, or else they wouldn't be there, can't get themselves up for a home game to not allow the opposition to do that. That's a bit scary.
It was just such a performance lacking in quality. I mean, they were so shocking on the ball. It was frightening, really.
And I mean, as the Moose said there, really, it feels like the only real quality in the squad at the moment are Bowen and Paqueta. Beyond that,
up front, he was just wasted. I mean, it was pointless.
It's that's the concern. Is there the depth in the squad? And there's that other aspect of it where, you know, the crowd and the players are sort of feeding off of their anxieties, which Nuno touched on. That's pretty clear. You know, it's a real disconnect at the moment. So there's a lot of work to do, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, even at the elite level, there's a lot of players that struggle if the atmosphere dips away the way it has done, when you can sense it in the stadium and there isn't an atmosphere to keep you going and help the players like there was at Upton Park. There's no doubt about it. Now, the ownership made that decision, and at the moment they're taking a lot of stick for it, because ultimately the players, like you said, in terms of squad depth, just simply aren't good enough. And strange signings. We know Callum Wilson's a great... Well, why isn't he playing? Is it a financial issue? Is it a fitness issue? It just is a terrible look. And the one thing I thought I would expect from Nuno was a bit more defensive structure. So then to see that last night was really worrying.
And they've got no presence up front, have they? I mean, every Premier League team really needs that these days, especially with the way football's changing with longer balls and throws. You need a big guy up front.
Well, I suppose they thought they'd bought that sort of player in full crew, but as Moose said...
He just never plays. He's always injured.
He's injured most of the time, and when he's not, he looks fine, but that's about it, really.
He is truly a throwback. He's in the wrong era. He should have been in my era, without a doubt. He'd have been brilliant. He honestly would have been. With a Jermaine Defoe or a Michael Owen or that type of player to nod down to. He's brilliant in the air. He bullied Gabriel and Saliba at the Emirates a week or so ago. So he's capable of that. He's not suited to the way, certainly, this West Ham team play. And he just looks really frustrated with the kind of service that he's getting, which is just a long ball up towards him.
There's players in that team that, Max Kilman, I always thought looked great at Wolves. And there's players in that team you feel would look a whole lot better in a side that's doing well, but not...
The left back who came on, he's a good player.
Yeah, not so much in this side, Dean.
No, and that's confidence, usually. When you see a player dip so badly at a club, it's usually down to a lack of confidence, whether that's in himself or in his teammates or the way that the team playing. And if you're exposed, as Kilman seems to be often now in that West Ham side, because there's no protection for him and he lacks a bit of pace, he's always facing his own goal constantly, which is certainly not his strength. So I think it's a collective issue. Again, the amount of chances Brentford were easily able to create, that's a team issue. That's a work ethic issue. And that's a worrying issue.
What's going on then? Yeah, I'm sure you've been in teams that have gone through periods like this over the years, Dean. So what's going on in the dressing room? Are the sort of senior pros sort of stepping up and trying to get the other lads going? What's the dynamic in the dressing room when this is happening?
What senior pros? That's the big issue. Because it's clear that the players are looking around and don't know who to really turn to. Bowen's your captain, who leads by example. I'm not quite sure how much he would lead in terms of tactical knowledge and certainly playing in an attacking area. But I don't think those players are there, and that's the worry. When your Mark Nobles and your Declan Rices kind of disappear, who is it then that is really stepping forward? And that's what I've always found, that in a struggling side, if you've got good characters that can kind of pull people together, you'll get out of it. If you haven't got that, players will end up being flaky. We're just naturally there's not many that have got that real bit about them. We're flaky.
It is. I mean, it's very, very early to be saying this. With a coach, as you said, who can normally get teams organised, and they could find a way through this. But at the moment, they are in deep trouble, aren't they?
Oh, massively. Yeah, you would say they're easily one of the favourites to go down when you've watched the performances. And all of a sudden, if Jared Bowen was to be out of the team for any reason, you've got nothing there to say, well, that'll be the factor that'll keep them up. It's very much going to be a relegation battle this season, which is certainly not what the West Ham fans would have expected.
And he'll be thinking about his future as well. Maybe Paquetá will be, as I think he owed them this season after what happened, but he may feel next season for his career, and Bowen, they could be angling for a move.
It's one to watch out for, I think, in their performances and their body language is when does that frustration really kick in and you start to lose them, because they can't lose those two players, because at least they've got the quality that could get you a result when they really need it.
Yeah. Nice one, Dean. Thanks ever so much.
Pleasure.
There's Dean Ashton there, former West Ham striker on last night.
Losing all your
we should say
games.
well done to Brentford. It was a very good performance.
Yeah, good performance.
Loads of chances.
They're doing well, Brentford.
Yeah. Jamie Cureton joins us next, who is playing, I think, sort of level 6 these days. He's playing for Kings Park Rangers. And at 50, he's still going strong. We spoke to Jamie, we probably spoke about 5 years ago, and he was still going strong at 45. But he loves playing. He'll tell us why he's carrying on. And we'll be in Sweden to hear from Graham Potter in a bit of Swedish. That's all coming up in the next half an hour.
Sean Dyche has been confirmed as the new head coach at Nottingham Forest. It's a 2-year contract, but our chief football correspondent Alex Crook says the club statement makes it very clear the side's priorities have changed as a result of their season so far.
They talk about his teams being defined by defensive organisation, resilience, strength from set pieces mentioned in this statement. So in the space of 8 games, they've gone Forest from talking about winning silverware to basically trying to stay in the Premier League, and it's now become a bit of a relegation dogfight.
Dyche's first game in charge will be at home to Porto in the Europa League, live on talkSPORT this Thursday. Now, Nuno Espirito Santo admits he's got a serious problem getting West Ham fans back on side. Here's what they're telling talkSPORT this morning after last night's protests.
We have got 2 clowns in charge, and it's not a circus anymore. I won't go to the ground.
Too many people not playing for the badge, not proud to play for the club.
They've got some good youngsters, Pearson Fionn in the youth. They've got Mohamedou Kante. Give them a break. Give them a chance.
Meanwhile, talkSPORT's Stanley Murphy thinks this could be as bad as West Ham get under Nuno after that painful 2-0 defeat to Brentford last night.
He's got to find a team quickly that he can settle on and trust in and get to at least to a place where they're harder to play against and harder to beat. He's got a big job on his hands.
There's more on that at talksport.com.
We're asking you what you'd like to bring back. I said I saw an old picture of the Leeds defender, great Leeds defender, Paul Reaney today with great big sideburns. Bring back sideburns. Never mind that. Bring back the tackle from behind, says Stephen in Hackney in London. There were no grey areas for VAR to get involved in after one of those. Let's not do that, Stephen.
That's not a good idea.
Not end careers early. I called obstruction last night. We said, whatever happened to obstruction? No one ever says, no, it's never given, is it? You're never going to hear a referee say,
that's
they looked at the monitor. Goal disallowed for obstruction. They're not going to do that, are they?
No.
Called it last night at 5-a-side, says Ian in Lowestoft. Everybody looked at me like I was a dinosaur. So it's definitely gone out of the game.
It has.
Anyway, a man who remembers obstruction, I'm sure during his playing days, joins us now. He's still going strong at 50. I reckon over the last 5 or 6 years, we probably spoke to him once a year and said, are you still going, Jamie? And sure enough, he is. He's now turning out for Kings Park Rangers, who, when they announced him, said, we're so pleased to announce the arrival of a man who absolutely stinks of goals. Which I thought was a brilliant turn of phrase. It is, of course, former Norwich, Reading, Bristol Rovers striker. It is Jamie Cureton. Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
We're good. Yeah, we've been having this chat a lot over the years. I feel like it's our annual conversation with you.
It seems to be, yeah. We'll keep it going for a little while longer, shall we?
It's great. It's great, though. I mean, there's so, we find it often difficult to believe as fans that there are footballers out there who don't particularly like playing football. They just happen to be good at it. But you clearly do still enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. And I suppose this has given me a bit of a old sort of feel of why I started playing football for fun, just to enjoy it, be around a group of friends and just have fun playing the game. So when I was sort of given the opportunity to get back into it and start playing, I jumped at the chance, and the club's been great. I've only been involved sort of a week, and the boys are brilliant. Banter flies around. It's great fun, and all the boys involved are playing for the right reasons, which is just to enjoy playing football with your friends.
Did you keep yourself fit while you were sort of not out?
Well, you were coaching, weren't you?
Yeah.
So I suppose you would have done.
Yeah, I've tried to as much as possible, but I have to say, after playing 25 minutes, my groins and stuff are a bit stiff. So yeah, I'll have to probably do a bit more sort of running and stuff just to get going again.
And obviously, everybody, because they've announced it, it's been on social media. And I mean, we've asked you this before. Does it make you a bit of a mark man? Are there any sort of young centre halves on the opposition trying to make a name for themselves?
Yeah, I think on Saturday it was quite funny. A lot of the opposition team was saying that the ref was trying to help me score because I needed obviously that one goal, but I don't think he could do a lot to help me too much. But yeah, it's funny, I suppose, because a lot of these guys probably weren't even born when I was sort of making my debut and stuff. You play against a lot of young kids and whatnot. But yeah, the club, Kings Park Rangers, do a lot of social media, and it's gone crazy, to be honest, and it's sort of thrown me back out there. So yeah, I'm sure every game now that I'm involved in, there'll be something on it, and someone will probably want to make a name for themselves at some point. So I'll have to stay on my toes.
They've had a couple of recent promotions. So what's changed at the club? Have they got sort of new owners, or what's happened there?
No. The club has been started by a guy called James Pollard. He started the club 2 years ago, and I think it was a case of just getting friends together, having fun, and seeing where it takes them. And they've got 2 promotions. The group has stayed pretty similar, and they're just looking to just keep doing what they're doing and just have fun along the way. I knew a few people around the place and stuff, and reached out to them when I'd left Cambridge City, and just felt that I wanted to, just enjoy myself for a bit and get away from the pressure. So yeah, the club's building itself. Whether how far they can take it or how far they want to go, I'm not sure. But it's making a name for himself, and they're not afraid to take the mickey out themselves. Social media is a big thing for them. And yeah, they're just a group that have started something, and I think are just enjoying it and seeing where it goes. They get a lot of hate from a lot of people, and I think they enjoy that, and they thrive on it. So they've now thrust me in the middle of it all, so I'm sure I'll be getting a lot of messages and stuff from people that don't enjoy it. But yeah, it's just a fun group that's enjoying playing football and trying to win as many games. And this year, and it'd be no different. We're trying, get promotion if possible. So if I can help out along the way in whatever that is, whether it's playing or helping the group with my experience, then great. But the boys were great. They involved me in it straight away in the change rooms. We have a sing-song whether we win, lose or draw. So it's all good fun.
You were looking to get a goal on another level. You didn't score at the weekend, or did you?
No, I didn't. I come on for 25 minutes and had a couple of half chances. But the reason that I wanted to play, I wasn't for that. It was just to get back and enjoy football a bit and come away from the pressures of managing. And I didn't know, and this is me being honest, I know a lot of people will think I did, that I hadn't scored at this level, and it would make it, I think, 10 levels. I didn't know, but obviously now I do know. Then yeah, my mind's set on getting that one and having another one ticked off.
I looked through your Wikipedia and I make it about 26 clubs that you've played for. Do you have all the shirts still? And what about your own collection of opposition shirts?
Yeah, I have a lot of the teams I played for. I have most of their shirts. They're all up in the loft. I have home away kits, everything. I like to keep stuff, and I found that when I started playing, we didn't really swap shirts, but as I got older, I tended to swap with people that I knew that were friends and stuff. So I've mainly got more of my mates' sort of shirts as opposition ones. So yeah, it wasn't early on. No one did it. When I was starting out, you only got given one shirt, so you wouldn't have been able to swap it. But,
yeah, exactly. It's going to cost you money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've got a few, and I like to keep a lot of memorabilia of my career, because I think it's when you eventually do sort of stop, then it's always nice to have stuff to remind you of what you've sort of done throughout your life.
What was your happiest time, or what club would you say were you at your happiest? It didn't necessarily be your most successful. I'm just interested to know.
I don't know. My happiest, I probably was really happy at Reading, probably Bristol Rovers, Norwich. I obviously grew up there as a kid and went through it. There's loads of them. I have to say I was happy at a lot of them, but I think my best spells were at clubs where I stayed a bit longer, which would be Reading. Sort of Rovers, Norwich, and then Colchester was a real big one. I was there 18 months and had a great time. But there's not many I would look back on and think I didn't enjoy it. Maybe one or two where it didn't go my way. But I suppose if you've played for 20 odd clubs, you're not going to get them all right.
No, exactly.
It's an old question, but
well, you can't remember it.
I just had it. It was a good question. It's going to run out of my time. Listen to what you were saying.
Well,
That's annoying.
In the meantime, while you're thinking of that,
it's a really good one. If I can remember it, I'll remember it this evening.
You say it's an old question. Should we try and guess what it was?
No.
Who was the hardest defender you ever came up against? Was that the question?
No.
I'll ask it for you. Who was the toughest? Who was the toughest? Who was it you used to think, Jamie? Oh no, not him again. Was there a defender you never liked to play against?
I sort of probably when I was sort of playing sort of Championship League One, I struggled against people that were fast and had a good brain. So I think Julian Lescott and Danny Gabardon, when they were at Wolves and Cardiff, were two players that I found that I relied on pace and movement, and they were very good. They were young, up and coming sort of players. And I found those two a struggle. I never really minded the physical ones and hard sort of players because I would tend to move away from them and stuff. But it was more so players that had a bit of pace and had a brain and stuff that give me a bit more trouble.
And I remembered.
What was the question?
Whose result do you look out for first?
Oh, whose result?
That's what I mean. It's an old question.
Well, do you know what? I don't know you support, Jamie. I know you worked at Arsenal as a coach, and we've talked to you about that. You worked at the academy and stuff. But you're not.
I'm a Man United fan.
Manchester United. You'll be a bit of a spring in your step then after the weekend.
At the moment, because I've got a lot of friends who are Liverpool supporters, so it's. I haven't had a lot to cheer about lately, but I've supported him from a kid. Don't ask me why. I've always liked him and supported him. Who I look out for first? Cool. I don't know. I suppose I look out for Bristol Rovers because it's where I'm from and it's the club I supported as a kid, and they're the first team I ever went to watch at Eastville. And then I just filter through the leagues and look at all the ones that I've played for, which I've normally got one or two in each league. So I tend to go through them, but I keep an eye on them all, and it's always nice to see them doing well. But with having that many, there's always going to be some that are doing well and some that are struggling. So, I try and keep an eye on them all.
Quick one, Arsenal, finally. You were at the academy there, and probably some of the boys have gone on, trained on, that you work with. But it's just looking like their year, isn't it? I mean, I've forgotten all about Havertz and Jesus. They'll be back before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got such a lot of depth in the squad. But what's going on at Liverpool is they're finding their way.
I think only City, I think, and even then.
Yeah, they're looking pretty well set, aren't they, at the moment?
I think so, yeah. I think the thing that they've done well is they've now obviously built the squad and they've added to it in the summer and added quality. And I think that was probably the one thing they were missing, that whenever they had big injuries, they tended to sort of fall off a bit with results. And I think they've added well. They're keeping clean sheets, scoring and winning games when they're not playing at their best. And you tend to find that teams that can do that tend to win things. And I still probably haven't seen probably the ultimate best of them at the moment. And new players are still finding their feet. So, I think at the moment they're the team to beat. I think with the results of how Liverpool have sort of struggled over the last few weeks, I would say City are probably the only team that I think will chase them.
Excellent. Well, good to talk to you, Jamie. No doubt we'll talk next year when you're into year 51. And
we'll see,
all the best. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Jamie Cureton there of Kings Park Rangers, still going strong at 50. Now, this Saturday, apart from Jamie trying to get that goal, former heavyweight champion and the current WBO interim champion Joseph Parker takes on the WBA interim heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley live at the O2. The winner will all but guarantee themselves a shot at one of the undisputed champion Alexander Usyk's belt. So watch live this Saturday only on DAZN. We're off to Sweden next, and we will hear Graham Potter in Swedish.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at dazn.com/boxing.
Well, it's Sweden Corner once again. We spoke to our next guest last week when we were looking at what had gone wrong for Sweden. He was pointing out then they still had a lifeline into the World Cup, and the man hoping to get them there in the remaining games in that possible playoff, is Graham Potter. We're going to hear from him now, but in Swedish. Take it away, Graham.
Spännande. Det känns otroligt. Men förlåt, nu måste vi fortsätta på engelska. Because your ears are going to bleed if I carry on speaking too much bad Swedish.
Fair play to him.
Fair play to him, yeah.
He did a fair bit more than that, did all of his intro in Swedish.
He'd be an absolute hero if it works. And one thing that he hasn't had at Chelsea or at West Ham, especially at West Ham, is strikers. He's got good forward players.
Yeah. Although looking at Isaac the other day, he's still got a bit of work to do, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Olaf Lund.
He's got, I mean, it's form.
Exactly. Olaf Lund joins us once again. Good afternoon, Olaf.
Good afternoon.
I think you hinted last week that Graham Potter was in the frame. And what's been the reaction in Sweden to him getting this job, albeit on a sort of short-term basis? Because he's really just there for these games, isn't he? If he gets them to the World Cup, I'm sure he'll go with them. But at the moment, it's about just getting them there.
Yeah, Federation got what it wanted, a short-term deal where he takes charge for the qualifiers in November. Sweden has a theoretical chance of reaching the second place in the group, but it's not probable. So it's the playoffs, and they want him to have the team in November for 2 games and then aim at the playoffs. As I told you last time I was on your show, Sweden had, through the Nations League group win on the C division, they have this lifeline. So they'll go into the playoffs. They'll get a tough draw because they'll play one of the 4 best group 2 teams away, so it's going to be difficult. But I think a lot of people are feeling positive about Graham Potter. He had a great run in Sweden, and I think it's a different leadership than Jon Dahl Tomasson.
I mean, the thing he did at Östersunds that everybody used to talk about was he kind of created this culture at the club that everybody bought into, and we had all these stories of him doing amateur dramatics with a team and ballet and different things like that. So they all bought. But I mean, this is a lot of top players. It's a very different challenge, this, Olaf, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but still, I mean, Alexander Isak, Victor Gyökeres, they will have seen Graham Potter in charge of Brighton, in charge of Chelsea, in charge of West Ham. Sure, you can say that he was fired at West Ham and he had a difficult time at Chelsea before he was fired. But Brighton didn't want to let him go when Chelsea poached him. So I think there will be a lot of respect from the players. I don't think ever Sweden has recruited a coach for the national team, a men's national team, with his pedigree. Whatever you think in England, he still has done a lot since coming on, taking charge of Östersund in the 4th tier in Swedish football.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he sort of talks a good game when you see him, but somehow his teams, he certainly didn't do it at Chelsea, and he certainly didn't do it at West Ham. So, we'll see what happens.
That wasn't an issue working with big players, was it, as such? I mean,
he was working with too many players. He was too nice at Chelsea. That was his problem. He was just too nice. He just should have done what Maresca's done, which is said, all right, you 10 over there.
Bomb squad.
I'm not dealing with you. I only deal with the ones I want.
As we said, Olaf, recently, that by that playoff, Kulusevski will be back. You'd like to think Isak's firing. You've got Alanga. There's so much quality.
There's
really
a lot of quality
in this Gyökeres. There's so much quality in this Sweden squad that if really they should be able to do something in that playoff, if not in these 2 games.
Yeah, I think there will be. I don't think either Italy or Turkey or Ukraine, or if it will be Wales, I don't think anyone would want to face Sweden in a one-off with all those players that you're counting. I think the most important thing is for him to kind of give the team a little bit more stability defensively. And he talked a lot about knowing the Swedish tradition, that it's always been like a collective effort. And I think maybe in the national team, you might be nice. It's different taking charge of Sweden than all the stars in Chelsea. So I think it might be a good fit. And I mean, the federation doesn't take any risk. He doesn't really need the money. He would get a good bonus if he takes Sweden to the World Cup. But this is what the federation wanted when they fired Jon Dahl Tomasson. They wanted a coach to come in November and then March. And I think everyone's pretty happy in Sweden that he's getting the chance to do something with a lot of talented players.
And away from Graham Potter, the other huge story coming out of Sweden is Mjällby, the team from a little village of under 1,500 inhabitants that have won the Swedish League. And immediately our cynical heads think, did they get some rich benefactor who pumped loads of money? And not a bit of it. You're not allowed to do that in Sweden because of the rules around ownership. This was an organic process. This was hard work and all the ways that you build a team. So it's quite some story, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I know a lot of people compare with Leicester, Premier League 2016, kind of like, but it's still different, as you say, that we have this 51% rule that the members has to own the majority of a club. So they've kind of worked hard, worked diligently, and really skillful in picking players and making them perform. So it's a fairy tale coming true, and it's really fascinating. I think it should be an inspiration for a lot of teams that if Mjällby can do it. They had 2,000 supporters in Gothenburg. I was at the game last night, and I mean, as you said, in the village it's like 800 living, and in the bigger city where they belong, I think they have 17,000 inhabitants. So that's more than 10% of the part of Sweden where they come from. That came to Gothenburg to celebrate when they won the title. And the way they win it, 3 games before the end of it, and they're 11 points ahead of the number 2 team. So they've crushed the other teams. It's incredible. Yeah. They lost 1 single game so far this season.
10 years ago, they nearly went out of business, nearly went bankrupt. And they could, is that right? They could, the guys on the Sweeper podcast, Paul Watson, was saying that they could break the all-time points record in the Swedish League. They only need a couple more points. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. They can put a marker really after writing this kind of football history, and it's incredible thinking that Mjällby will be in the Champions League qualifiers. I mean, in 2016 they almost went bankrupt, and they were 1 game from falling down in the 4th tier of the Swedish football system. After that, it's just gone one direction, and I mean, no one in around Mjällby could have dreamt of being in the Champions League qualifiers and winning a title.
Fantastic story. Thank you, Olaf. Again, we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting.
Thank you.
Olaf Lund there, Swedish journalist.
I don't know who the coach is, but I bet a lot of clubs will be looking at him.
Yeah, he'll be sought after. It seems that they've got this, it's a guy called Anders Torstensson, former school principal. Wow, he came back from had leukemia, and came back from that, managed the side. It's like a movie.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to listen back to the best of breakfast this morning, you can hear from Magnus Emmes, who is the chairman of the club, telling the full story.
The journey to the ground. His description of the journey to the ground was fantastic.
Holds 7,000 people, this stadium, but you can fit, the population in about 8 times. Anyway, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT, still to come. We'll chat to the man that beat the world's greatest cyclist after a McDonald's, Liam O'Brien, former Newcastle and Ireland midfielder, and the fact that the Newcastle fans still sing his name we'll be chatting about. And he has a very interesting claim to fame during his time at Manchester United. He'll tell us more about that. We'll talk about the late, great Eddie Jordan, a regular visitor to talkSPORT and to this studio with myself and Andy, and we'll be chatting about Eddie and a new book celebrating his life. Plus Henry Normal, Nottingham Forest fan, giving us his take on Sean Dyche. That's all to come. We'll be looking at the Spanish opposition taking on City and Arsenal a bit later on with Spanish football expert, former player, of course, Terry Gibson. But first, Max Scott has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Score a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Thank you, Andy. Good afternoon. Sean Dyche replaces Ange Postecoglou at Forest. So will it be a return to a more defensive system seen under Nuno, or can Dyche break that perception that he's a one-trick pony? Here's Simon Jordan's take.
So what I'm going to do is when I had at Burnley, I was told to manage with what I've got. When I was at Everton, I had no bloody choice. Right? Yeah. Now I've got an owner that's going to spend money. So now you're going to see the real Sean Dyche. Yeah. You're going to see my progressive, ambitious, forward-thinking, expansive football. Cobblers, you're going to see the same.
But speaking to talkSPORT back in 2022, Sean Dyche says he feels the perception of his management isn't necessarily the full picture.
Perception now is so important in football. Yeah. It's not built on the facts all the time. No. It's a perception of people's views. Views not news now. Views not news. It's just loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of views make a storyline.
Dyche's first game in charge is against Porto in the Europa League, live on talkSPORT Thursday evening. Now, Jose Mourinho's been on the charm offensive ahead of Benfica's Champions League clash with Newcastle tonight. He says he gets emotional about being at Sir Bobby Robson's former stomping ground, and that this was his message to his players about playing under the lights at St James's Park.
I told them that it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Even as an opponent, it's beautiful. Of course, they are going to play with the Newcastle players, but I think they will respect us as an opponent.
Our live coverage of that one gets underway at 7 tonight. Louis Rees-Zammit is back in the Wales Rugby Union squad after making his return from NFL. He's part of Steve Tandy's squad for the Autumn Internationals, with Jack Morgan named as captain.
talkSPORT News.
Downing Street's denying the national inquiry into grooming gangs is in crisis, and the man who plotted to kidnap, rape and murder Holly Willoughby has lost a challenge against his life sentence. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Come rain or shine, we've got your electric car covered with 400 EV ready centres, so you can drive away happy every time.
A day of sunny spells and scattered showers, heaviest rain in the northwest, much brighter in the southeast.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to be chatting to the man later on who beat the world's greatest cyclist after a McDonald's, and Liam O'Brien, formerly of Newcastle and Ireland, joins us to chat about his new book. And Henry Normal, a comedian, writer, TV mogul and Forest fan, on Sean Dyche taking over at the City Ground. But before all of that, we used to look forward to the visits to the studio of Eddie Jordan over the years. I know Mr. Brazil did. He'd often be, take up most of his day. He'd often say to us, "Alan's gone home, hasn't he?" He's not going to take me up the pub. But whether he came in on his own or spoke to us on the phone or joined us with David Coulthard to chat about his podcast, he is much missed by all of us here at talkSPORT. Now, a new book celebrates his life. That's probably the best way to put it. It's called Eddie Jordan, Full Throttle, Lessons from a Life of Motorsport, Money and Mischief. Keith O'Loughlin is the author. He was a great friend of Eddie's. And he's joined us in the studio with Eddie's wife, Marie. Good to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting us.
I think that's probably the way to put it, Keith. I mean, I know Eddie did a autobiography sort of 20-odd years ago, nearly. But this is a bit of a... It's like the world according to in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like him pontificating about how life should be lived to be successful. He was an amazing character, and as you said, wherever he went, he brought energy and effervescence, and he brought insights to everybody. and with mischief and fun wrapped around it. And after he passed, I spoke with Marie, and we wanted to set up a foundation, and the idea of this book came along because, when you spent time with Eddie, even when he wasn't in the studio, he was still in broadcasting mode, telling you what you should do and how to live life and what ideas he had. And so, if we've got 25 principles, which we've loosely put into the book, but he wouldn't have said that's how he lived his life. He just did his own thing. And this is just it celebrates some of his achievements, but also the insights into what really made him tick and what made him successful.
The life timeline in the book really says how, when you go through it, you see, this man achieved so much. He must be proud too.
Yes, very.
Yeah, I'm sure. Tremendous.
Yeah, he was he the same on as he was off? I mean, he probably was. I would imagine he was no different with you than he is with everybody else.
No, I must say he was much quieter at home. He couldn't keep that going 24/7.
It'd be exhausting.
So at home, but he did spend his life on the phone talking to people, and then he'd ring somebody like Keith 3 times a day, depending on what was going on. And then he'd look down the list. I'll ring them. So that went on. But generally at home, he was fairly quiet. I mean, he did have obviously the outbursts, which we used to, but yeah.
He took lots of chances and lots of risks in his life, sort of financial and otherwise, didn't he? So, but I mean, that was the great achievement. He sort of dared to dream a little bit, certainly in motorsport, the way he started.
Yeah, you put it right. He dared to dream. We talked about that earlier, about how always dream bigger than you intend to do, and go with that. And he was very... I mean, I was saying, I don't really understand how he made the jump from the lower formulas into Formula One. He just came home one day and said, right, I'm going into Formula One. I mean, no money or anything. And we went through some fairly difficult financial times with Formula One, particularly in the early days. And but it never really seemed to get to him too much. He always knew he'd find a way out. And that's probably part of his ethos as well, is, get yourself into a situation, don't panic, find your way out of it.
Yeah. He didn't see these things as risks. He just saw them as opportunities and things that were challenges. And he backed himself. Whatever he did, he backed himself to, no matter what twists and turns he had to do, he'd be gregarious enough to find his way through to success. And that's what he did.
How much was he shaped, do you think, by his background? Right.
I think most of what he had was inbuilt. He was quite like, I mean... When I say quite like, he was put Eddie in a dress and he was his mother. So, I mean, literally, they were two peas in the pod and admired each other greatly and fed off each other to a greater degree. Whereas I'm the total opposite. I'm the calm, kind of serene, normal, down to earth.
That was why it worked, I guess. The combination of the two of you. Yeah.
I say when he'd go off on one about something, I'd look at him thinking, God, toys are at the pram. But it was never anything to do with me. It was always something completely different than I'd get upset about. Then I'd get upset about it, and thinking, what's she on about? Yeah. Why'd she get upset over that? So it worked that way, that we kind of got along together.
You're married for 47 years, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, terrific. Eddie's motto, unfortunately, we can't say what it is at this time of the day, but it's tremendous, isn't it?
Can we clean it up for 10 past 2?
His motto is F the begrudgers, and his ethos behind it was when he grew up in Ireland, even though I'm not sure he ever fully grew up, but when he grew up in Ireland, there wasn't much money around, and there was that kind of mentality of some people who were small-minded. Who does he think he is? And he always felt that he ignored, and it was one of the things he learned, to just ignore criticism because people will bring you down and people will try and bring you down to their level. And it's something that he never took part of. He was like, I don't care what people say, and he had no fear about what people said. He did what he wanted to do, and he passed that on, which is a little bit which we have in the book. He passed on that encouragement and wisdom to people. If you met Eddie and said, I want some money, he'd say no. For investment or to sponsor whatever. But if you met him and said, can I have some time, he would sit with you and he would give you his time freely and generously. You would be the only person in the room without distraction, and then he would connect you to people who would help you. So he really epitomised that non-begrudging attitude. But he had it tattooed on his wrist, and he lived by it and felt it would spur him on to go, no matter what people say or no matter what the challenges are, I'm going to win.
Yeah. You must have had some fascinating parties, Marie, because there's a lot of tributes in the book from people that Eddie knew. And they're from so many different worlds, aren't they? Not just motorsport, but everything. Showbiz, music, politics, everything.
Yeah, for sure. He diversified quite a bit. In reality, had he had his choice to live again, he'd have been a rock star. That was his number one, his drummer. And he dressed like one and tried to look like one, and that was his main. But he loved all sports and liked business, he liked politics. So, yeah, he was quite diverse.
Yeah.
And anybody's bit of fun. He was.
He was a
Chelsea
Chelsea fan.
fan. Yes, he was a Chelsea fan. Yeah.
You'd probably hear him as well.
Yeah.
Not Chelsea.
I love the fact that you've got How to Play the Spoons is a little section of the book as well.
Yeah, because I about 2 years ago, he on a Friday evening he said, "Right, we're going for a pint." And I was like, "Okay." So I said, "I'll call an Uber." He said, "No, we're cycling in." This is in London. We cycled in, and then 10 minutes later, his son, Kyle, came in with Lewis Capaldi, who was a friend of his, 6 o'clock on a Friday. So we have a pint and then we go for a bite to eat. 5 minutes later, Eddie has got 2 spoons, plain spoons on the table, playing them on Lewis Capaldi's head, shoulder, and everybody in the restaurant is up and alive. He used this as his way to just ignite the magic and the electricity of emotion in any space, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. He also he was a decent drummer. He had his own band. But he also played on one of Chris Ria's albums. He played the drums on some of the tracks.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
I say at the top there, finally, that we miss him coming in to see us and having chats with us on the station. But he was a life force. So for you guys, as a great friend and his partner for so many years, it must feel very quiet.
Yeah, it is quiet. Quite like a bit of quiet. Yeah, but it was his time. He had done probably too much and burnt himself out to a degree. And when the cancer came, he had nothing really left to fight it.
Yeah.
So he would.
I don't think we realised quite how ill he was. I think he didn't. We knew he was ill, but he did. He wanted to kind of.
We did feel we'd pull him through. I suppose you always feel that. Yeah. But he would not have wanted to be around half in, half out. That would not have suited him. So he went quickly at the end with the pneumonia. Yeah.
He didn't in the same way. He right to the end. He didn't talk about being defeated. He was giving it, everything to the end. And while the world is a quieter place, because I describe Eddie as somebody with the volume and the contrast and the brightness turned right up to the max. Yeah. That's what he was. But he wasn't somebody for trophies. He didn't have trophies or memorabilia in his house. People were where he got his energy, and that's what. So keeping his spirit and encouraging people and inspiring people through the book is a fitting way to keep his memory alive and inspire people who weren't lucky enough, like all of us, to have met him and felt that directly.
Yeah, it's a lovely tribute, the book.
Lovely photo as well.
I'm sure he would have been telling you if he was here what you hadn't put in there and what you'd done wrong. Eddie Jordan, Full Throttle Lessons from a Life of Motorsport, Money and Mischief is out now in hardback, published by Quirks. Thank you both for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Andrew Feather is a lawyer, a cyclist. He's 40, and a week or so ago he beat possibly the best cyclist of all time, after a McDonald's. He'll tell us more about that in a few moments' time. We're here, of course, with our good friends at Tool Stations. They one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We just wanted to point out that all the proceeds from the book, Keith and Murray were just in the studio chatting about Eddie Jordan. They're going to the Eddie Jordan Foundation. So, it's a really lovely book. If you enjoyed Eddie's appearances on the station over the years, I've got to meet him or was impressed by everything he achieved in his life, it's a great read. So this is the story we mentioned to you last week, and we got a bit of a cool subject about preparing for sport. This is Andrew Feather. He's a 40-year-old solicitor, and he went over to Slovenia to take part in a cycling race against Tadej Pogacar, the world's finest cyclist. And he beat him.
It's a good story.
After a McDonald's. Not really the marginal gains we've come to expect in cycling. We said we'd try and track Andrew down, and we have. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon. Hi there.
We should say congratulations first. I mean, you probably went to take part in this race not thinking for 1 minute you would beat the great man.
I did, but I suppose it's a bit of a caveat to the story in that he did start behind the rest of us, so I do have to mention that. So he had a 6-minute handicap to the race. But the rules of the race were that he was supposed to, as his own rules, that he would catch everyone before the line, and I was the one who escaped and managed not to be captured by him. So he was around 3 minutes quicker than I was over the whole cline, though.
But could you feel his hot breath on your neck? How close was he? Were you even with that head start?
He was around. So when I got to the finish line, I had to wait around 3 minutes for him to arrive.
Oh no, you're quite ahead of him then.
Were you looking at your watch? That would have been.
I really didn't. To be honest, I really didn't know how far he was behind, and he didn't. We didn't have any indication of how long he would be setting off after the other cyclists. So, I didn't have a clue. But in a way, it was a shame he didn't catch me, because it would have been nice if he caught me, and then I would have had the opportunity to try and see really how good he is and sort of try and stay on his wheel. But that never happened, because I got to the line first. So.
Did you when he turned up? Did you say, "Where were you?"
Yeah.
No, he was very nice. Obviously, he's potentially the best cyclist ever. And he was very sort of humble in his approach and sort of congratulated me and said, you rode a really fast ride. And he was just a very nice, down to earth guy. And it's nice to see, knowing that, he's literally the best in the sport kind of thing. So yeah, it was good. Great experience.
It's a 13.9 kilometre climb, and that's very much your forte. You're a 4-time national hill climb champion. So you're not just an amateur. You've got some pedigree in this area.
Yeah, so what happens in the UK every September and October, you have all of these hill climb competitions throughout the UK every single weekend, where all of these amateur and some professional riders pitch themselves up against each other on these given hills, and it all basically goes through to the British National Hill Climb competition, which is actually in 5 days' time. So that's kind of the crux of the season, I suppose, when the season finishes. And if you win that, you're crowned the British Hill Climb. I've managed to do that a few times. So it's all to play for in 5 days. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned you had the McDonald's the night before, and you kind of got in and out of Slovenia quite rapidly. But I forgot to mention that you didn't have a pump, and your tyres were a bit flat, apparently, in the race.
Yeah, I probably didn't have the optimum preparation for the race. Yeah, he's probably got a slightly better support team than I had. But yeah, no, I didn't have a pump. So the tyres were slightly deflated, and I got in at sort of 11:30 on Friday night. So the only option was having a McDonald's and things. So you just have to make the best of the situation, I suppose, and that's what I did. And I still managed to do quite well. So I was pleased. It's a nice story to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
It says that you took away a 6-kilo bottle of champagne. I've never heard of such a thing. It must be massive.
And a watch, apparently, and a trophy.
Exactly. Yeah, there was a few winnings, which was quite nice. And certainly when I got to the airport, EasyJet were first to pick up on the fact that my luggage was way too heavy, and they said that I had to get something out of the suitcase, and that was the first thing that I took out, which was this enormous bottle of champagne. So.
And he was sorry.
I was going to say it's a nice story, because when I took the bottle of champagne out, there was a guy in the queue behind me who was very kind and opened up his bag and said, "Look, I've seen the event. If you've won it, I'll put it in my suitcase, and you come and find me in Gatwick and pick up the bottle," which I thought was really nice.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And he was good enough not to disappear with it as well.
Yeah. He drank it all at the time.
Yeah.
He just gave you the empty bottle, but it was fine.
So, and probably the most important thing is he was very gracious in defeat and was fulsome in his praise for you, we understand.
Yeah, he was he was, and he sort of, congratulated myself on a really fast ride, and maybe he didn't quite anticipate that, I think he anticipated that he would catch everyone, so it was nice that I was the only one who stayed away, kind of thing. So, but no, he's really nice guy, and nice to see, given that he's at the top of the sport, and he's got everything that he needs really. So.
And finally, will you go back and try again? And if so, do you think you expect him to shave a minute or so, or maybe 3 minutes off the head start?
Yeah, maybe if he ran it again, he'd give himself less of a margin. He'd be a bit more careful. So.
Good stuff. Look, it's good to talk to you. Thanks very much for joining us, Andrew.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.
Andrew Feather there, the solicitor and cyclist who beat the great Tadej Pogacar. Liam O'Brien's going to join us for a chat in a moment. Newcastle, of course, in action this evening against the mighty Benfica. That's live on talkSPORT. We'll bring you Villarreal City. We're going to talk Villarreal and Atletico Madrid. They take on Arsenal this evening. You'll be kept in touch with that one in kickoff with Adrian Durham. And a busy night's international football. We're right across that. But Liam O'Brien joining us next to talk a bit of Newcastle and the fact the fans still sing his name all these years on. We'll play you the song if you're not familiar with it, and we'll chat about his book, Past Master.
So in comes Sean Dyche to Nottingham Forest on a 2-year contract. A tricky time to be the tricky trees who are floundering down in the relegation zone. But is this a case of third time lucky after Nuno and Ange were both shown the door this season? Well, former Forest striker Robert Earnshaw reckons Dyche's style will divide fans because it signals a complete reversal in their style of play.
Postecoglou comes in, it's going to be attacking football, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Now, are you going back to defensive football? And I think that's going to be the split.
Meanwhile, can Rull rescue Rangers? Sheffield Wednesday captain Barry Bannon's told us Danny Rull needs a good start to appease the disgruntled fans up north, but he's reassuring them the 36-year-old was terrific at Wednesday.
His training sessions were top level, really intense. He's a confident young man that he's probably beyond his years in terms of his knowledge of football.
Rull's first game in charge of Rangers is away to Norway's Brann on Thursday afternoon. And all the chat maybe about how bad West Ham were in that defeat to Brentford last night. But Jeff Stelling has got an apology for one of the Bees.
Jordan Henderson. Oh, my goodness. He has proved me and a lot of other people so wrong. He controls everything. He wants the ball. For me, Brentford's player of the season so far.
All your latest is at talksport.com.
To St James Park.
Tonali at the edge of the area, drives it in. Newcastle take the lead.
They're set up now for me to really kick on.
And Newcastle United have got their first Champions League win of the season.
A city that lives and breathes it.
That man again, the record signing, Nick Voltemada.
They've got a terrific player and somebody that is going to improve as well. He's still so young.
Benfica look like tactics spot on from the Jose Mourinho side.
For Benfica, it really is about getting through the first half.
We love these games. I mean, I hope our performances mirrors that crowd energy that we're going to get. And I think if we're at our very best, we have a good chance.
Yep, Jose and his connections with Sir Bobby do add a bit of spice to tonight, don't they? A bit of interest.
Think he's ever won at St James's Park. I've got a feeling.
You don't remember him doing that at Chelsea?
Definitely not at Chelsea, but I've got a feeling he's never won a game there, but I might be wrong, so I'll stand corrected.
Should be a great night under the lights. We've got the game for you live this evening on talkSPORT, and we'll be chatting about it in a little bit more detail later on. But we're joined now by a former Newcastle player whose name is still sung at St James's Park. Let's bring you that song now. There we are.
Any old iron.
Any O'Brien. Liam is one of those O'Briens. His book, Past Master, Football Fergie, Big Jack, King Kev, and My Life in the Beautiful and Sometimes Brutal Game is out now. Good afternoon, Liam.
Good afternoon, lads. How are we?
Good. Well, what a buzz that must be! All these years on, that they're still singing your Andy O'Brien, wasn't it? The other O'Brien singing your song.
Yeah, Andy O'Brien. He's no relation, by the way. But no. Yeah, it's great that the fans are still singing that song 33 years later. I remember scoring the goal on the day, and I remember a couple of friends saying to me, "You don't realise what you've done." I said, "Yeah, I just scored the winner against Sunderland in the derby. Brilliant."
Yeah.
And they said to me, "No, you'll never be forgotten." And sure enough, they're still singing that song 33 years later. So it's great for myself.
I was watching it back. It's the importance of they'd not won at Roker Park since the mid-50s, had they? So, and you scored. You're wearing yellow, the away kit, and you put a sort of Zico-like free kick in. So it's quite a fabled goal for Newcastle fans, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like any win in any derby, because what the fans really want is the bragging rights after one of those games, and to score in yellow and then to be kind of mentioned in the same breath as Zico, which is unbelievable. But it was very nice that the manager did say that day.
Yeah. It's good to have the derby back, isn't it? It's going to be lively. And Sunderland have made a pretty decent start, haven't they?
They have made a good start. Yeah, defensively they've been very good. But you know yourself, derby games. Hopefully Newcastle can beat them when it does happen. And I think it's in December. So we'll be looking forward to it. But it's great for the region that the derby games are back, because there's nothing like a good derby game, as I say.
You were signed by Ron Atkinson for Manchester United, and then he got the sack. We see that all the time. We see it lately. You know, it is quite an odd thing for a player, isn't it, to be signed by a manager and then he's gone. And
you just got to hope that the next guy, in this case, Alex Ferguson, he was then, likes you as well.
Yeah, that's true. I was Ron Atkinson the last sign, and I did have a joke with the player saying I must have got him sacked because they're good on your signings. But no, I was one for the future, really. But when Alex Ferguson came in a month later, it was, he had that aura about him that he was going to change things, and it took a while, but eventually it did happen. But he gave me my debut 6 weeks after he came to the club, so it was great for myself.
You do hold a Manchester United record. I think it still stands, Liam, doesn't it? Fastest sending off. I would imagine now that it's maybe the sort of challenge that probably wouldn't even got you a yellow card. I went on YouTube to look for it, but I couldn't find it. Maybe you've had it wiped from the records.
Yeah, it's not one of the records that I'm very proud of, I must say. But yeah, I think it was 85 seconds. It was kind of one of the first games shown live on TV in Ireland. So my parents were watching it, and to see me getting dismissed after 85 seconds wasn't very, very good. But I don't think the referee obviously makes the decisions, and I don't think the decision was a good decision, to be honest. I think it would have been a yellow.
Yeah, you can still dispute. Times have changed, haven't they? Really. You were part of the Ireland squad at Euro '88. You worked under Big Jack. I mean, it was an interesting time as an Irishman. There was a little bit of heat about some of the recruitment that Jack did to build that squad. I mean, what was the feeling from the Irish boys in the squad at the time?
Oh, the feeling was grand. I mean, they were entitled to play for the country through the grandparent rule, so Jack kind of said, okay, they'll do for me. We got some good players in. We got into the European Championships, as you say. We won quite well there, beat England and drew at Russia, and unfortunately got beaten by Holland in the last game. It was only 8 teams then in the tournament, so it was unfortunate, but it was a great time for the country. It needed a bit of a lift, the way things were going in Ireland at the time with the economically and stuff. But yeah, it was good. Everybody enjoyed that kind of time under Jack from 1988 and 1990 and 94. So the country was buzzing.
Yeah. And you talk a lot in the book about your time at Newcastle and your love for the club, and working with Kevin Keegan as well, which was an experience.
Yeah, when I was there, we went through some obviously good and bad times. We got relegated in the fourth season. I was there, unfortunately, and then Jim Smith came in. And there was financial problems at the club, especially under Ozzy Ardiles as well. He couldn't sign the players that he wanted, and he had to kind of rely on the youth. And a lot of the young players that were playing there at the time, the likes of Steve Howie and Lee Clark and Steve Watson, Alan Thompson, went on to be great players, but they were a little bit inexperienced at the time, and Ozzy couldn't get the players in. And then when Kevin Keegan came in, we were struggling to stay in the division, the old second division. And he came in and turned things around. We stayed up that year, and then the following year he said, this will never happen again. This club is too big. The fans don't deserve it. And we just kicked on, and we had a great season the next season and got promoted to the Premier League. So, I mean, he turned things around. He was very charismatic, a great personality, full of enthusiasm, and the players loved playing under him.
The club you spent most time at, or played the most games for, was Tranmere Rovers. So I always think of you as Newcastle, and it says that you had a heartbreak of missing out on a Wembley appearance.
That's right, yeah. You got was that the League Cup, wasn't it? Semi-final. Villa?
Yeah,
Villa?
it was against Aston Villa. we were 3-0 up, funny enough, at Prenton Park, and they got a late equaliser from Daly and Atkinson. And then we went to Villa Park, and obviously they're going to be different. They threw everything at us, and we scored a penalty. They got back to 3-3. We got a penalty through John Aldridge, make it 4-3, and then they scored with about 2 minutes to go, and it went to extra time and then penalties. And I took the actual sixth penalty. I went up to score to get us to Wembley, and unfortunately, Mark Bosnich saved it that day. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, but. Yeah, very disappointed, to be honest with you, that I didn't get up to Wembley.
Yeah.
But
Do you get over much for games? You get up to Newcastle when you can, Liam?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I go over to maybe a couple of times a season. My two lads are big Newcastle fans, so they go over a big 3 or 4 times a year, and they obviously watch the games here every week when they're on. So they are big Newcastal fans. I'm still doing my best over here to convert some of the Irish lads to support Newcastle when they're not supporting the League of Ireland here.
Yeah, I mean, talking of which, you managed and coached and played in League of Ireland, and we've seen some young players coming over. The latest of them, Mason Melia from St Pat's, who's gone over to Spurs. There seems to be some good young talent coming out the league.
Yeah, there is, and as you just mentioned, Mason Melia, he's a great prospect for the future, and hopefully he can keep improving and developing as a player. There is some other good players in our league here in Ireland that are done really well. The league has improved immensely with facilities and the grounds and stuff. So it'll be only a matter of time before other players follow Mason's footsteps across the water there.
Absolutely.
When you're growing up in Ireland, is there a sort of pressure to play the GAA games, or was it fine playing football?
They'd always want you, especially in the schools. In my time in the 70s, it was just Gaelic and hurling then. But obviously on the weekends, there was a lot of schoolboy games. Actually, I think the soccer is played more than it is Gaelic and hurling in this country. But there wasn't really much pressure. You'd play Gaelic on the Saturday and you'd play your soccer on the Sunday. So you're always active.
Yeah. Well, look, it's good to talk to you, Liam. We wish you all the very best with the book. And I'm sure if the listeners didn't know why they were singing that song, they'll think of you next time they hear the Newcastle fans singing it. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much indeed, guys. Thanks very much.
Liam O'Brien, Past Master is the book. Football Fergie, Big Jack, King Kev, and My Life in the Beautiful and Sometimes Brutal Game is published by Pitch and is out now. And we'll bring you Newcastle in action this evening against Benfica. 8 o'clock kickoff, all the build-up from 7 with Adrian Durham. Jim Proudfoot, your commentator for that one. Villarreal Manchester City as well is our commentary game this evening with Dance and Dean Ashton, who we caught up with a little bit earlier on. And we're going to be looking at Villarreal as well as Atletico Madrid, who take on Arsenal, and Adrian will keep you in touch with that one. And look at what they're going to be up against this evening. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with our very good friends at Tool Station, ready to help at over 580 stations. Next stop, Tool Station. Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. That is a song called I Will Wait For You. And it's written by a pal of mine and Andy's, Neil Avery, alongside someone's name I'm sure you'll know if you like quality TV. He's a long-time collaborator and business partner of Steve Coogan's. He was one of the originators of the Royal Family, Mrs. Merton. So much stuff, too numerous to mention. It's very timely we chat to him today because he's a big Forest fan as well, and produced the brilliant I Believe in Miracles documentary with Johnny Owen about Forest in Europe and the glory as it is. Henry Normal. Hi, Henry.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
It's a great pleasure. We're going to come on to Forest in a moment, you'll be pleased to hear. But, tell us a little bit about how the song came together.
Well, it was a poem that I wrote for my last collection, and I was performing it for the first time in London, a gig I did with Nigel Planer from The Young Ones, because I was on tour with him, and he's a mate of Neil's, and Neil had come along to see him, and was struck by that particular poem. So he said that his daughter had got a great voice, and Charlotte, his daughter, who was at music college, she's got a fantastic voice. Yes, and I just said, well, take the words and see if you can do something. And of course, they've made it magic.
Yeah, you sound like you're pleased with it.
Very pleased with it, yeah. And you don't tend to think of, I mean, I can't sing for toffee. So, a voice of an angel or somebody that's been dead a few years.
Just realised what you said there. And she's singing it live with you, isn't she, on some of your gigs?
She is, yes. She's coming to 4 of the gigs. So the world premiere of this, because it's her debut singer, the world premiere would be the Brighton Commedia on the 29th of October, and then she's doing Southampton Attic, Dorking Halls, which I think is a local gig for her, and then London Arts Depot. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think Brighton's a home fixture because Neil's a massive
he's a big Brighton fan. That's right. So is the tour, Henry, a few kind of TV war stories, some poems, some songs? Is it that sort of evening?
Yes, it's a sort of a cautionary tale of how not to end up like me, basically. I've had a lovely career in television. As you say, I work with Steve Coogan a lot, and of course Caroline Aherne. I did the Royal Family and the Mrs. Merton show, and it was lovely. I was paid to be in a room with funny people. Yeah. Which is a gorgeous job. And my dad would say get a proper job, but you know you don't want one.
No, we both know that feeling. It is a lot of fun. You have to pinch yourself sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's our producer was listening. He said it's got a bit of a Bond theme feel to it. I know what he means. It has got that about it, isn't it, the song?
Oh, it'd be lovely if they picked that up for the next Bond.
That's some big money.
Yeah, I can see that. I Will Wait For You as the title of the Bond film.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you'll have to write the script. See if Steve can get a part in it, and see if you can get that away. That would be very good. So,
well, yes, I could see him as the new M.
Yeah, I could. That would be good. That would work, wouldn't it? I
mean, he sees himself as a new Bond. Obviously, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Now, it's funny, Max Scott, who's reading the sport for us today, is a big Forest fan, and he said he watches I Believe in Miracles probably about once a week, just to give him a lift. It is you and Johnny and the gang did a fine film. It's a wonderful documentary.
Yeah, do you know, we wanted to make the best film that we could possibly make. That the real sort of definitive version of it. So we got all the players, and they were brilliant, and we got all the family, of the Taylor family and the Clough family together, and we didn't spare any expense. All the music cost a fortune, and we got all the clips that we could possibly get. We would never make any money on this film, but it doesn't matter because I'm a Forest fan. I don't know whether you know. When I was 14, I was the first one in the ground.
Wow, really? First one through the turnstile.
That's great.
First one through the turnstile. I used to wait from 1:30 for a 3:00 kickoff, and I got me Trent End Forest flag, which I drape on the front, which is on all the newsreels. And now this was before they used to have marketing, so I used to have a red jacket, and I'd got Snowpake, what's they sort of
Tipex. Yeah,
Tipex, that's right. And I put the names of all the players. family jacket in Tipex.
That's good.
So when they left, I used to have to Tipex the Tipex off.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of Forest fans of that vintage thinking, oh, that was him.
Yeah.
That was him that used to do that. Yeah.
I got to say, I absolutely loved it, and Clough, of course, was. But now Clough's not actually from Nottingham, but when I speak, sometimes people say I sound a bit like Brian Clough, which is a lovely compliment.
Yeah.
I used to. He had such great sayings, and I always remember my favourite was, "I'm not saying I'm the best manager, but I'm in the top one."
Yes, of course. Did you ever get to meet him, Henry?
Never got to meet him, but I got to meet the family. I would have loved to.
Yeah. No, we spent an hour with him once in the studio. It was very late in his life. He came in with Nigel Button. He was still great value, wasn't he? With some of the stories were found. A really charismatic man. So you can understand why people played for him.
Well, some of the stories in the film are brilliant. The fact that he would fine people if they actually practiced when he told them not to practice. You wouldn't get that these days, would you?
No. Definitely the forerunner of Mourinho. I always felt that there was a link between Brian Clough and Mourinho. They had that same will to win. Right.
And he didn't last. Brian's 43 days, did he, Ange? In the end, he came up short of those. No. I mean, what have you made of the start of this season? It's been bizarre, hasn't it?
Well, my wife, Anne, she's very happy to take over. She said, because her name's Angela Pell, you see, so you wouldn't even have to change the bathrobe.
That's true. Yeah, none of that. That's true. AP. I mean, there's a cost saving that may tip Mr. Marinakis over. Unfortunately, Sean's already got the job.
You must have loved last season.
Has he got the job already?
It's got. He's been confirmed today. I mean, he was a trainee at the club, wasn't he? Our Forest fan, very pleased. Thinks he'll be good for you.
Well, he knows how to set up a defence, doesn't he? Let's be right.
Yeah.
All these years at Burnley, you'd never thought of Burnley as having a flimsy defence.
No. You just need to kind of get a bit of solidity back and then start to build on that, because you've got great players. I mean, the players who didn't get on the other day, they bought some good players in the summer as well.
They had a great season last season. You must have loved it.
I loved it last season, and let's face it, the last match. I mean, they were very unlucky. They hit the woodwork, and these margins in football. It's an inch one way, and you've got a job. An inch the other way, you haven't. So.
True, they could have been 2-0 up at half time or 3-1 or something.
Yeah. It was a bit. It was quite funny actually. The first of it was a bit like watching my wife and her mother trying not to let the other person pay for something. You'll have a goal. No, we don't want one. No, I'll have one.
That's a good description.
You can catch Henry on tour. It's not long, is it? Yeah, you've got
Friday. We start at Leicester on Friday. Yeah,
lovely. And then around the country, you can catch him on tour. And you'll hear Charlotte Avery singing the song. We'll play out with a bit more of "I Will Wait for You." I take it it's available on Spotify and everywhere else.
All the platforms.
Yeah,
it's on all the platforms. Yeah.
And let's hope the Broccoli family are listening this afternoon. That's not a kids' entertainer. It would make that's your Cubbies mob.
Yeah.
Let's hope they're listening this afternoon, and they maybe pick it up as a theme. Henry, lovely to talk to you. All the best. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
There's Henry Normal there. Let's play you a little bit more of that song with Charlotte Avery, Neil Avery, Henry Normal's poem. This is "I Will Wait for You."
If we never get the chance to say, if we never get the chance to say, if we never get the chance.
chatting to Henry Normal there about Forest. And just a reminder, Sean Dyche's first game in charge is against Porto on Thursday and it is live on talkSPORT. We got football for you tonight. We'll be building up to that in the final hour after Max Scott with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Sean Dyche is Forest's third manager this season. He signed till 2027, and the club highlight his defensive organisation as a reason for his appointment. But Simon Jordan isn't sure it tallies with the club's stated ambition.
Marinakis has made such a song and dance and dog and pony show about winning things that as much as I like Sean, as much as I rate him as a manager, this is not a progressive appointment. This is an appointment to hold order, to keep the club probably in the Premier League and to give its best opportunity maybe somehow to find its way through the Europa League.
Dyche's first game in charge at home to Porto in the Europa League is live on talkSPORT this Thursday. Now, the love-in between Mourinho and Newcastle continues ahead of Benfica's trip Tyneside. Live on talkSPORT tonight, Jose's lauded the beautiful St James's Park, and Eddie Howe shared his excitement at sharing the sideline with one of his idols.
He's someone that I hugely admire, having come up against him before in the Premier League, and I think as a younger coach really admired the teams that he built at Chelsea in particular.
Our live coverage gets underway from 7 p.m. tonight, while Man City's trip to Villarreal is live over on talkSPORT 2. And Enzo Maresca says he won't punish his players, despite their poor disciplinary record, including his own red card at Liverpool. They've had dismissals in the last 4 matches.
I have 4 kids, and when they do something wrong, I don't punish them. I try to teach them to do the right things. And I try to treat the players in the same way. Try to help them to understand and not to punish them.
Chelsea take on Ajax in the Champions League tomorrow night.
talkSPORT News.
The government's been accused of mishandling the inquiry into grooming gangs, and the man who plotted to kidnap, rape and murder Holly Willoughby has lost a challenge against his life sentence. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
A day of sunny spells and scattered showers, heaviest rain in the northwest, much brighter in the southeast.
Yeah, sorry, we're just watching the women's cricket, and the 2 batters in at the moment are try on cap. What if you don't want to try on a cap?
I've no idea.
You're under pressure.
No. Well, fair enough.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, it doesn't take us anywhere, really.
It doesn't really. I'll try and put it on Twitter for you so you can see we weren't lying.
Oh,
there you are. The latest episode of the talkSPORT.
a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
It's really.
I got the picture now.
Yeah.
The latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is available now as Gabby Agbonlahor joined Jeff Stenning to discuss whether we'll ever see Ange Postecoglou back in the Premier League again. I doubt it. Well, it could be a while anyway. And whether Forest is actually an attractive club for managers. Well, I think looking at their squad, I think it certainly is. If you want to hear more, then maybe it's the chairman might put you off. If you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms now. And Max, who is just with us there, will be popping along to the City Ground for the first Sean Dyche press conference ahead of that game against Porto, which we're going to bring you on Thursday. And he'll be reporting into the show tomorrow.
You good?
Right, what else have we got for you? Oh, yeah, Andy, this is your chance to shine.
Chance to shine.
Yeah.
Before I go to my list, which is now extended to 100, how many is it? 167. I've given you the list there.
Yeah, 167 cutting.
Less the ones we've already done. But I like this one. This bloke Jack wrote to the Star. He said, who'd write this to a national newspaper? Willow, thanks for your recommendation for Audi tea bags. I'll give them a try.
It's the important stuff, isn't it?
It's really sensational.
The letters pages of the newspapers have gone downhill.
People often go on about how much footballers earn, but did you see Yannick Sinner, for winning that game against Alcaraz on Sunday, got 4.5 million.
Wow.
And 180 grand racket from Turkey Al Sheikh.
180, is it like gold leaf racket?
It's got to be, isn't it? It's
Did Salt Bay come and sprinkle gold leaf under the racket?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anything else? You got,
fine.
got new stuff.
Oh, this is the new
We're
stuff.
not even getting into the old stuff.
Well, you know, I just think tennis legend Bjorn Borg has revealed ghosts make a racket, not my words, at his house.
Ghosts?
Ghosts.
Yeah.
But they said, Bjorn said, a lot of strange things happen. Dishes falling out of cabinets, the feeling of someone being in a room. Why do ghosts always do that? Why do they always slam doors and throw things out? Why don't they just sit down? Why do ghosts behave in the same way that people who see ghosts always say that that's what they do? It's a bit strange.
Maybe because, as my old man said once in his dotage, that there were poker dice in the house. I was thinking, that's not the word, is it?
No, not really. Okay, go on.
90. 90 blind 90. What's that? Sorry, I should have. Well, you didn't tell me not to go for it. What is it? We should point out, Andy has got all these cuttings he compiles. You had a flavour of the more recent ones then. And he's got 167 of them.
Yeah.
And I've now got a whole list that I have to cross off as we go. And he's adding to it all the time.
This one's sort of interest, really.
Andy's news and nonsense.
I don't know if you knew this, but status quo legend Francis Rossi is a secret chess grandmaster.
Is he?
Apparently, according to Chris...
A grandmaster?
Yeah. The telly presenter said the front man, because you can't say Francis Rossi again, goes against his rock and roll image because he's also hooked on jigsaw puzzles.
Really?
Right, so that's it. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's worse things to be hooked on, of course.
Well, I suppose
times have changed.
True. Yeah.
So I think he's a grand master. He's probably quite good at chess, is what Chris was saying.
Probably, yeah. Okay, next.
I'll try and keep you in the vicinity. 102.
102.
What's cutting 102? This is real potluck. I don't know what's coming up.
No, neither do I. 102.
Yeah.
Oh, this is column fodder with a wonderful piece of nonsense.
Yes.
This is the woman that writes a column where you just read it and go, I can't believe you get paid for this, and I can't believe I've even just read it. The hotel shower, it simply won't wash.
No.
We've just been staying in a hotel in Marseille where our bathroom had no bath, just a shower. How anyone can prefer showers to baths completely confounds me. How anybody's interested in that completely confounds me, to be really honest.
Yeah.
Unlike the ease of sinking into a lovely bath, which incidentally, while running, has already heated up a potentially chilly bathroom.
Yeah.
Approaching a shower tray is an exercise in self-harm. Well, it isn't.
Yeah,
really,
I wouldn't open with this, whoever's doing it.
But it's column
not quite
fodder.
Jerry Seinfeld, is it?
I can't even be bothered to read the...
Can I take you all the way back to number 2, Andy?
Yeah, why not?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. I'm crossing these off as I go.
Oh, you'll know about this one.
Andy gave me a completely handwritten list of these folks before, and I managed to accidentally throw it away. So he's had to handwrite it all again.
Yeah,
so I'm going to definitely keep it this time.
Yeah.
All right, then number 2.
You know this story because we were going to do this. I don't know if we ever did it on the show.
Right.
An amateur golfer has hit 2 holes in one in the same round, defying odds of 67 million to 1. Because we had this thing about hole in one became this story that
used to get. There's always variations. Father and son, hole in one. Oldest person getting hole in one.
Poem. Father and son, hole in one.
Yeah, you've got to have a system. So it's all that, isn't it? It's variations. Hit a bird on the head, went in and hole in one. That stuff.
He landed his first ace with a 6-iron on the 175-yard third at Droitwich Golf Club in Worcester. It was his first ever hole in one, having taken up the game at the age of 13, and he's 47. Then on the 187-yard 15th, the seemingly impossible happened again, this time with a 5-iron. So it's quite a remarkable story, really.
It is. Yeah.
I thought he said he had a handicap of 64. No, he had a handicap of 0.4. Wouldn't be very correct. Wouldn't be much of a player.
That would be a story. A bloke with a handicap of 64. We've been going round in, about 140. But then you get a hole in one. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
0.4 it was. He saved the balls, added, I think I'll get some sort of box for them and stick them on the mantelpiece. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
nice, okay. Do you want another one then? One more?
One more, yeah.
You've got 6 and 6B.
I know. Well,
why have you got 2 6s?
Because I made a mistake.
Oh, okay, great. What a numbering system. You haven't even got that right. Let's have 6B then. I don't want 6. I want 6B.
Where is 6B?
Have you got 6B or 6A?
6A.
6A. You've called it. Okay, sorry.
Britain is set to be hotter than Corfu. Of course
when?
It is.
Corfu.
Corfu.
Is that the headline? Corfu, what a scorcher.
Corfu, what a scorcher. Corfu.
Yes.
Not Corfu.
When is it going to be that hot? This is about 2 months old, isn't it?
No, at the start of October.
Oh, really? Well, that's still a bit late, isn't it? Well, you're bringing us old weather.
because it probably never happened.
Andy Jacobs' old weather.
I like this.
Andy Jacobs' heavy weather.
An incoming 400-mile subtropical surge.
You are.
I know. Yeah. Will bathe the nation in a 5-day Indian summer. I hope it does.
Did it? I mean, I can't remember. Did it?
I don't think it did. Forecaster Brian Gaze from Weather Outlook.
G-A-Z-E. Brian Gaze.
He's always looking out the window. He doesn't bother to forecast it. It's quite cloudy today.
Yeah.
Good old Brian Gaze from Weather Outlook said, after a mixed September with most rain for months, plus northerly winds bringing, I bet it's fun to have a pint with old Brian, bringing the first frosts amid cold Arctic air. Yeah. October looks like beginning with an Indian summer.
Okay, well, it may have done. It may have done, Andy, but,
don't normally.
3 weeks you're talking now. I can't remember what the weather was like. Well, that'll do then. Maybe one more? One more then, while you're in the vicinity.
Oh, no.
Let's have, let's have number 10.
Number 10?
Yeah, go on then. Last one. Number 10, yeah.
Oh, no, I don't like number 10.
Oh, all right.
I put that in.
We don't like number. We'll forget number 10. Number 11. Let's go see who's next door.
Guess who it is.
Yeah. Oh, who is it?
It's
Brian Limford?
No. We're in a nation of a grip.
Sorry, is this your column fodder? Yeah. God, you do a lot of this, don't you?
Because every week I cut these out. I can't really do them in this section, but I'm so fascinated by how terrible it is that I just can't believe it. We're a nation in the grip of a pastry obsession. Each week on every London corner, a new bakery. That's just not true, is it? It's just not true. Each week on every London corner, a new bakery pops up.
This is kind of fluff.
It's not true, though.
This column is sort of fluff in a mid-market tabloid. It's the sort of thing my mum will read, and she'll go, "Oh yeah." She don't care. It's not there to be deconstructed like it's the New York Review of Books, is it? I mean, it's not there, but it's fluff. She writes fluff for people who read fluff.
No, I'd rather eat fluff. A new bakery pops up offering wildly appealing and off-the-chart calorific treats.
Yeah.
Chocolate brownies, caramel mousse tarts.
David Caramel?
Artisan donuts.
Oh, you are? I'm definitely
an artisan donut.
Yeah.
These counters are stuffed with colourful temptations and the queues for them snake into the street. It's not true. That's just not true, is it? They're not opening every month. They're not on every corner.
Just imagine.
They haven't got queues going down the street.
When they're kind of on Instagram and TikTok, they do. Mate, they do. They queue round the block.
Well, I have seen the place in Primrose Hill. Isn't that bagel place where they
walked past it a little while?
It was a TikTok sensation.
Queuing round the block.
3 hours for a bagel. You've got to be mad, haven't you? We have a new local Don't Tell Dad, which offers an irresistible brown butter and hazelnut croissant. Sounds disgusting.
Is this much longer?
No, I can't be bothered.
Okay, fair enough. Well, and whoever writes that column, I bet she's delighted to get the publicity every week from Andy. Now, one of our listeners last week alerted us to Withershore FC and the kind of stellar team that they have put together. Yeah. It was Johnny. Johnny said, I should make you aware of the ex-pros playing in the Cheshire Vets League at the moment for Withershore. It is quite the cast list. And I thought, we'll follow that up. And we're doing that today. The chairman, Withershore FC, Carl Barrett's going to join us. Or, as it says here, Carl Bartat, the producer put, known as Ilkley Moore in the dressing room. I've been told it's Barrett, and he'll be joining us in a couple of seconds' time. We're here, of course, with our very good friends at Tool Station, standing behind every single tradesperson of Britain. Next stop, Tool Station. Now, do you? Yes, you.
Me?
No, not you.
Oh, right.
Because you work here and that would be a bit moody. Although it would be quite funny. But it won't be you. I can safely say that to paraphrase the National Lottery.
Thanks.
Anyway, do you? Yes, you. Want the chance to play to win up to £100,000? Don't say yes, Andy, because it's not you.
It's not me, I know that.
It's them. So listen up. This is talkSPORT's biggest ever cash prize, and we're going all out. A massive £100,000, completely tax-free, could be yours. If you're the lucky winner chosen to come to the talkSPORT Towers on November the 13th, you'll get the chance to play to win for that incredible cash prize. So don't miss out. Keep listening to find out how to enter.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Still to come this afternoon, Terry Gibson, Spanish football expert for Manchester United, Cov, and Spurs frontman, and Wimbledon, of course. FA Cup winner will be joining us for a chat. Knows his Spanish football. And we're going to look at Atletico, who take on Arsenal tonight, and indeed Villarreal, who I saw in the flesh the other week against Spurs, and just get a bit up to date. And also talk a bit about Marcus Rashford. So he's going to be in action for Barcelona. But as we pointed out, Johnny, one of the listeners last week, said, I just want to make you aware of the ex-pros playing in the Cheshire Vets League on Sunday. Some serious players. George Boyd, Jonian Lescott, Ifianua, Stephen Ireland, all turning out for Withershore FC. We've got other players as well. Darwin FC have got Brett Ormerod playing for them. I mean, that's great, isn't it? I mean, they'd won 10-0, Johnny said, the weekend before.
The thing is, we know that pros, they never lose it. They might lose the fitness, they might lose a certain step.
Never lose the touch,
They don't lose that skills, no.
Absolutely. Well, we spoke to Jamie Cureton earlier on, who's still going strong at 50. Withershore have built some team. Let's have a chat with the chairman, Carl Barrett. Hiya, Carl.
Hi, good afternoon, chaps. You okay?
Yeah. What a lineup. Not so bad, is it? So how's this sort of all come out? Are they sort of local, the guys local to the area, and just want to sort of keep their hand in?
They're fairly local, but to be honest, we had a very good side last year. The lads there, they won 30 out of 32 games, and they only lost in 2 County Cup finals. And one of the lads who knows the manager really well started talking. He's good friends with Stephen Ireland, and said, well, let's go for the 2 County Cups we didn't win this year. And they started talking about it. And then I think they got pre-season. Papi Cisse came down and Anua came down. I started playing a few games. George Boyd as well. He's a local lad. He's a Withershore lad and all that sort of stuff. Played for a few. He's living around there. Played for a few clubs around here. And he started playing pre-season, and it's just escalated. And we've got like 9 signed on now. So
wow,
it's unbelievable. 2 more. We got a full 11.
But this is a veteran. This is a veterans team, which means they're not coming up against young people that could outrun them. They're coming up against people.
It depends. age? I mean, what's the cut-off for vets? Is it sort of 35 or something? How does it work?
It's over 35s.
Yeah.
The next one is over 45s, but there's a couple of lads who can also play it. Everyone's getting fitter nowadays as they go, and everyone's running all that sort of stuff. And if you turned up on Sunday and watched the game as well, on both sides actually, there was very, very good fitness levels. And they had to be for the second half as well, because the collegiate, they went down to 10 players as well, so they were running about in the second half. But I have to say they were fantastic, the guys there. They won the league last year as well, so you could see the quality there for sure.
I can see pictures in the dugout. Emil Heskey's there as well. What's his role? Is he playing?
Yeah, he came on for the last 15 minutes. I think it was about the last 15 minutes. And it's funny because I said, our president, John Walker, we've got a stand, the John Walker stand, and he's been there from the start. And I looked across at one point and saw Emil Heskey wearing an Ami shirt underneath the John Walker stand. That was like one of my best memories I'm ever going to have. It was unbelievable.
You've got Senegalese internationals, a couple, Honduran international, Mano Figueroa. It's nuts, isn't it? You must be pinching yourself.
It's mad. We've got Lescott as well. He plays up front now for us. So Ireland, honestly, if you watch Steve in centre midfield, he's just controlling anything. And you look at some of the balls, and a couple of times the ball's pinged from one side to the other. It's brought down first time, and you can actually hear the crowd. And it's weird. On Sunday, we had 178 people there watching a Sunday Vets team, and I'm sure that's only going to grow. So it was just phenomenal just to watch it be pinged from one side to the other, and the quality and young kids and guys who've grown up with these players just looking. And it's funny because we're looking at the stats. There's like between them, there's 1,839 Premiership games these guys have played. Wow. And it's just like playing for Withershore FC is like phenomenal.
Any other teams crying foul at the moment, Carl, or not?
No, I think it's a bit of fun, and to be honest, the guys that they're playing there, they're turning up. And honestly, if you'd watched the game on Sunday, it was a very equal game. The opponents, they went down to 10 players, and you have to say the quality in Vets League now, I think you mentioned before, is getting higher and higher. The standards playing, and people don't want to stop playing at 35, 36. So the standard is very high in the Vets League, and obviously this is just adding to it. And I know there's a few other clubs who've got ex-pros there playing as well. What about the rest of the club and the main team? And how many teams do you run? So we've got 70 teams, so that's why I've got no hair. It's a type of thing. So we've got semi-professional men's who play in the North West Counties Prem, and our women's first team in the National League as well. So they're 3 promotions away from playing in the Women's Premier League. Wow. We've had Manchester United there, Stoke, Blackburn, Huddersfield. We've got loads of teams playing the women's team as well. So for our community club, that we're owned by the community, so it's not owned by me or anyone else. We're owned by the community of 110,000 people in Withershore. There's huge scope for it, and so each and every week there's 1,000 young kids playing football for the club. So it's not just about this; it's about everything, and this is just giving the opportunity to spread the name out, really. And any more sort of pros coming down? Anybody else seen all the publicity and seen some of their mates playing and fancy turning out? Have you got any others? It's funny. It's funny. There's a couple of stories about that, because I spoke to Stevie Islands as he came off on Sunday. I said, "Listen, mate, I can't thank you enough for doing this, because I saw some of the kids who stood there getting autographs, and he said, mate, we've got a few more lined up, so we can't say who that is, but there's a few more that's coming down." So I think over the season, obviously we've got an established team as well, and I can't forget, and we shouldn't forget, how good the team was prior to all these guys coming. So all the other lads who are there on the sidelines, they're all enjoying it. I know some of them will probably be a bit annoyed they're not getting as much game time, but it's a long old season, as they say, and when it's chucking it down and all that sort of stuff, and internationals and things like that going on, all these guys have day jobs as well and commentary. So so it's a strong team overall. So I think it'll be topped up for sure. Has Stephen Ireland still got his Bentley with his name hand stitched into the seats? Does he bring that to training? I think he might bring another car for those for those ends. I've not seen it in the car park, and we've got a couple of board members who've got a couple of cars like that as well, to be fair. So Yeah, so it's interesting times. But I have to tell you something that was probably made me laugh more about this is that my wife, she does all the admins and all that sort of thing for the whole club. So she registers players, then she gets them signed up and that, and then sends them a subscription Go Carlos request. And she's been sending a subs request to all these players to pay. The subs are 15 quid a month. And then she said, "Oh, there's a guy called Amy Heskey. I think I know him." And said, "Should I be sending them subs?" I said, "Of course, send it. You never know."
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be happy.
Definitely.
to
Oh
pay.
yeah, that's definitely.
Shows you though that I'm looking here. The season ticket prices, 150 quid for adults. It's good value, isn't it? If you want to see some local football.
I think one of the things about it, and I think I'm a West Brom fan, and I've not watched. I watch the Baggies away when I'm on business, but at home I don't go anymore. The grassroots. When you go into grassroots football and non-league football, it's just a different game altogether. We get between 350 and 500 fans for our first team men's, probably around about 150 to 200 for our women's. You can have a beer there, there's food there, you can have I've met probably most of my mates through this football club, so I've been involved for about 20 odd years, and I highly recommend it to come down. And when you're paying between 5 and 8 quid to watch the standard football as well, it can only grow, and I think it's good for the game that things like this is also highlighting non-league football, really.
Good stuff. Well, look, good to talk to you, and we'll keep an eye on the new additions. I'm sure there'll be more. Thank you, Carl. Thanks. All the best.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
Carl Barrett there, the Withershore FC chairman. And I was thinking Vets football. I was thinking it was Ife Onioru who played, of course, Gillingham and Huddersfield back in the day, a man of a certain vintage. But it's Nedum Manua, who's only fairly retired a little while ago, isn't he? So there are some young vets in there just about making the cut. So, blimey, they've got a hell of a team, haven't they?
Yeah, it must be fun to.
It's all over social media of the boys in action. As you said, there's a couple of different shapes and sizes from maybe the height of their playing days, but the touch is there, as we found when we used to have those talkSPORT games back in the day when Rodney Marsh and even Big Alan and Alvin Martin would turn out, that they still had the touch and the competitiveness. That never goes either. We're going to talk a bit of table tennis for reasons we'll explain. There's a new big table tennis movie coming out as well, so we'll talk a bit about that. And Terry Gibson's going to join us as well to look ahead to some of the Champions League games with Spanish opposition this evening.
So in comes Sean Dyche to Nottingham Forest on a 2-year contract. A tricky time to be the tricky trees who are floundering down in the relegation zone. But is this a case of third time lucky after Nuno and Ange were both shown the door this season? Well, former Forest striker Robert Earnshaw reckons Dyche's style will divide fans because it signals a complete reversal in their style of play.
Postecoglou comes in, it's going to be attacking football, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Now, are you going back to defensive football? And I think that's going to be the split.
Meanwhile, can Rull rescue Rangers? Sheffield Wednesday captain Barry Bannon's told us Danny Rull needs a good start to appease the disgruntled fans up north, but he's reassuring them the 36-year-old was terrific at
He's probably beyond his years in terms of his knowledge of football.
Rull's first game in charge of Rangers is away to Norway's Brann on Thursday afternoon. And all the chat maybe about how bad West Ham were in that defeat to Brentford last night. But Jeff Stelling has got an apology for one of the Bees.
Jordan Henderson. Oh, my goodness. He has proved me and a lot of other people so wrong. He controls everything. He wants the ball. For me, Brentford's player of the season so far.
All your latest is at talksport.com.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't talk.
We're seeing footage now of Danny Rull, the new Rangers manager, doing his first press conference at Ibrox, and they've got him in the club suit and the club tie. And some people just aren't meant to wear suits, are they? He looks so much better in a tracksuit. He looks like he's going for an interview at Burton's. It does. I think they've given him a 17.5 collar because he obviously doesn't like the tight collar because he doesn't like wearing ties.
Too big.
I'm sure he might be much happier going in the old Rangers tracksuit. So there we are.
He's got a good track record there, hasn't he? He's got an interesting career.
Yeah. I mean, look, it is an interesting appointment. So we'll see what happens. Now, time now for this week's Paddy's Pick in association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power. Paddy's Pick. I'll ask Andy. Who's Andy?
I'm anti everything.
It's only 28. I'm asking Andy to identify a mystery sports personality who has made news headlines in the recent past and is Paddy's Pick of the week. Andy, you're going to get 5 clues to work out who it is. We're going to start with £50 in the pot.
Okay.
And for every clue that gets used up, we'll take £10 away. It's all for charity. We're raising funds for the Shen UK. So are you ready? I've not turned the page yet. I don't know who it is.
No, neither do I.
And that's why I normally find out whether you've got a fighting chance or not. Oh, yeah.
Right.
This week's pick is a Premier League star, an international, who recently matched his own record. I won't give you any help this week, but I might not for 50 quid.
Star that recently equalled his own record.
Yeah.
Is it Erling Haaland?
It is.
Oh.
You didn't need any help, did you? What made you say that?
Because I knew he'd
equalled his own record. Yeah, so basically the clue was in the clue, wasn't it, really? That's a pretty stupid question, but I mean, yeah.
No, I just knew he'd set some sort of record, and I thought, well, he's probably definitely equalled his own record. Yeah. He's always setting records.
Let me tell you, he began his senior career with Bern and Mulder before signing with Red Bull Salzburg in 2019, where he won the Austrian Bundesliga, the Austrian Cup. He joined Bundesliga club Borussia Dortmund in 2020, where he won the Pokal in 2021, moving to the Premier League in 2022. As an international, he scored 51 goals, 46 appearances for his country. He's just matched his own record of scoring double digits by the 8th game of the Premier League season for the 3rd year running. That was the record in question.
He's got to be one of the greatest finishers of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a wonderful player, but he's not, people don't talk about him in the way they talk about Messi or any of those, but it's finishing.
The great thing is, but then,
incredible.
The great thing about it is occasionally he proves he's human. He'll do one of these threepenny bit headers, won't he? And he does miss the odd one.
He does.
Not that many, but
they all do that.
He gives everyone a chance, doesn't it, really? He's Paddy's Pick of the Week for his latest achievement in a remarkable track record of success. So that is £50 for the Shen UK. Well done, Andy. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Now, many years ago, you may recall, we were chatting to Barry Hearn about sports that were ripe for the picking. And, I mean, funny enough, Harry Redknapp's in the papers today saying he'd like to get Barry interested in Speedway. Give it the darts. Everybody wants him.
Good luck with that one.
Get Barry to give darts and snooker to get the Barry Hearn treatment.
You could have 2020 Speedway just for the first corner and that's it.
Oh, yeah, this is your theory. You always upset Speedway fans when you say that. But the reason I bring it up is we did talk about table tennis, and Barry felt there was real mileage in table. They did a big event at Ali Pali, didn't they? I seem to remember.
There's loads of clips online on Instagram and TikTok. People do amazing rallies, and people are fascinated.
Yeah. Well, at the top level, we have some fine players, and one of them now, 2 times national champion, Commonwealth Games, Team World Cup medalist in the last 16 in the World Championships in Doha earlier this year. Tom Jarvis joins us. Hello, Tom.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah. So, what was your route into the sport? Did you play other sports as well, or was this always going to happen for you, table tennis?
No, I played quite a lot when I was young. My parents sent me to quite a lot of different sports, and then I really loved table tennis, and I played with my big brother a lot, and one thing just led to another, and I chose table tennis, I think, when I was about 9, and I've stuck with it since.
Did you have a table at home you and your brother used to play?
Yeah, we had one in the garage, and then we had pool clubs and stuff like that.
Because Matthew Said, who I know you'll know, a brilliant table tennis player, he reckoned his success and people around it was from growing up with great coaching in a particular area.
Yeah, it's where in the area he lived in, they had a great coach down the road. So once you started to take it seriously, how easy was it for you to get quality coaching?
It was really tough. I was raised in Skegness, and we didn't really have anything there. So, my parents and my grandparents were driving me to Grantham or Nottingham pretty much every night till I was 16 to get good coaching and good practice.
Yeah. And you've sort of moved through the ranks fairly swiftly. What's the key, really? I mean, how much hours of practice do you still put in, Tom, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with table tennis, I think, like no one outside the sports understands how hard it is and how much training you do, and how we still now we'll do 2 sessions a day that are about 2-3 hours long, and gym sessions and stuff like that pretty much every day. So yeah, it is very intense.
It is a great telly sport. It works brilliantly well when you watch it in the
Olympics. It's always really popular.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a dynamic sport, isn't it?
I think because it's so fast, and there's something always happening. There's not really any breaks. I think it's really good for the viewer, and I think people don't realise how fast and how dynamic it is until they come and see it in person.
Yeah. It's one of those sports, though, that anybody can play, or anybody can play badly, and it's much harder to play well, but anyone can play, and people do, don't
it was your saviour in lockdown. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, Tom. This is Andy and his wife during lockdown. You basically did table tennis marathons.
Well, we did rallying, just because she'd never played before, so I basically...
Is that the kitchen table?
Look at this.
Yeah.
On the kitchen table with a made-up...
We did that. This is our record. It's 2,381.
No.
Yeah. 33
minutes without a mistake. It was quite amazing.
But Andy, why do you go for the winner on this last shot? Look, Suze Early just said, look at you, look. In any second, you suddenly...
It's a concentration.
No, look. It's coming up. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I had to reach for it.
You almost smash. That was so counterproductive.
It was.
But yeah, the therapeutic nature of it. It is quite a low impact. It's a serious point there. It's a low impact sport, and later in life, you're playing it at the top level. But as a really accessible game, it's brilliant like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think everyone who I tell I play table tennis, they always say, I used to play table tennis at school, or I still play table tennis there, but no one's ever seen high level table tennis, and they couldn't name a table tennis player. So yeah, I think like now, especially with the World Championships next year, we're really trying to raise that profile.
Well, another thing that's going to help is Timothy Chalamet, isn't it? The new film, Marty Supreme, which is a table tennis movie set in New York, a ping pong drama, they say, during the 50s. And it's a kind of obsessed Marty Mauser, a guy who, and he's been very method, as he often is, as he was with the Bob Dylan movie.
He's amazing.
Timothy. He's been playing a lot of table tennis, so you may see him rocking up at the Worlds at some point. But it's good for profile, that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And one of my good friends who I grew up playing with is in that movie, and I know played with Timothy quite a lot, so yeah, I'm really excited to watch that.
We've got a big event coming up at the Copper Box as well, haven't we? Next few, when's it kick off? What's the day? It starts today, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's already in action now.
Yeah. So you got quite a lot of the Olympic medalists, a lot of the top players.
Is it on TV?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll have to look into that.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay, right.
On World Table platform.
And we're going to, this country's going to be hosting the World Team Table Tennis Championships. Is that right?
Yeah, in the spring of next year.
Yeah. And who? I mean, I would take it the Chinese are strong. Who are the other countries that are really strong?
Yeah, I mean, China have always been historically the best at table tennis. But Europe are really, really up and coming. The French and Swedish and the Germans are really good. And then you've got the other Asian countries like Japan and Korea.
Yeah. We'll go and check it out on YouTube. It's WTT Star Contender London. It's underway now, running the 26th at the Copper Box. Tom, all the best. Good luck in the tournament. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tom Jarvis there, 2 times national table tennis champ. No, it's a very good game, isn't it?
It is.
Very excellent. So, just to let you know that coming up at 4 o'clock, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will bring you Champions League Drive, building up to all of our big games. Arsenal take on Spanish opposition, Soda City, which is why we're chatting to Terry Gibson, Spanish football expert and former striker in the top divisions and beyond. And that's coming up in a few moments. We're here, as always, with our good friends at Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station.
slip over the top of Haaland, who's tried to get round the back with a little touch. Oh, what a finish! And what a goal!
He's just a born striker who loves scoring goals.
Manchester City, who've dominated this game, have been caught in stoppage time. Monaco 2, Manchester City 2.
He can't believe how his 2 goals have not won his side the game.
They are winning games. They're having opportunities to go and kill the game off, and they're missing big chances. When they were at their best, they never did that.
If we go through and we get better and better, we'll be a contender.
We had a season, an off-season, but I think we've got as good a chance as anyone to win the Champions League.
Cross to the back post, Vega's header! Vega clinical!
You know, to do good things, you have to do better.
Yes, Villarreal versus Manchester City on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Dean, Ashton, and Dante, your commentary team. We've got Arsenal at Atletico. We'll keep you in touch with that one as well. Newcastle, Benfica on talkSPORT. We thought we would look at the Spanish opposition, having talked Newcastle a little bit earlier on with Liam O'Brien. With Terry Gibson, Spanish football expert, former Cov, Wimbledon, Spurs, and Manchester United frontman. Hi, Terry.
Good afternoon, Paul.
So, let's start with Arsenal. As I said, you'd normally feel a bit put out for a team that couldn't have a shower after training, but that's the sort of stunt that Simeone would pull. So, it's not a great deal of sympathy. So, what sort of nick are Atletico in going to the Emirates tonight?
Arsenal turning into the crazy gang, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit John Beck all this, doesn't it?
Long throw-ins,
yeah.
concentrating on set pieces. And,
that's it.
Yeah, no. Atletico, they haven't won away from home this season in any game, and their fixture list hasn't been too taxing for them, to be honest. So, I mean, they lost to Liverpool in the Champions League. They've drawn with Celta Vigo, Alaves, Mallorca, and lost to Espanyol in the Liga. So their away form is a problem. At home, everything is as normal. I mean, smashed Real Madrid 5-2. They won again at the weekend. They won 5-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt in the second Champions League game. So they're at home, they're in good nick. Away from home, they're not. They're still hard to beat. They're still a Simeone team. They've got some really good players this season that are bedding in, settling in. So maybe it's a little settling in period that they're going through. But they still will be a threat against Arsenal for sure.
It must be nice being Simeone. It's his 751st game. I was saying that earlier in the show. He's never under any pressure, is he? He's not going to go, is it? They don't sort of say Simeone out.
Well, if you think to what it was like, Andy, before Simeone took over, they were going through 2 managers a season. And over the course of 5 seasons, they probably had 8 or 9 managers. And he came in, and all these years later, he's still there. He's even got his son playing now. And his son he epitomises everything that Simeone is about as a manager. His son down that right flank works tirelessly. He's a really good player. He deserves his place in the team. So that's how long he's been there now. I think his son was only about 8 when he joined Atletico Madrid as manager. Now his son's a regular first-team player. So Simeone is what he is, but he's got some really good players. He's under more pressure now than ever because the amount of money the club has spent in the last couple of summers. And, you know, it's not good enough now just to be in the top 4 or get in the Champions League. He has to deliver trophies and get closer to Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Do you expect Arsenal to get the job done tonight?
No, I don't think it's a given by any means. I really don't. I think it's Atletico they're on the cusp of being a really good team and being a threat in the whole of this competition this season. As I say, the new players that they've bought this year, Julian Alvarez is in fantastic form. It might be Griezmann playing alongside him tonight instead of Sorloth, which would be a slight surprise in my opinion.
Okay.
But they've got some really good players. They've brought in Nico Gonzalez. David Hansko has been absolutely sensational. Centre-back that's left-footed that's ended up playing left-back, funny enough, for Atletico Madrid. So they've got power at the back. Llorente and Giuliano Simeone down the right flank. No one will work harder than those two. So that's going to be a threat for Arsenal. So they've got ways of making Arsenal suffer. It's just my concern is their away form so far this season.
Now I saw Villarreal in the flesh against Spurs the other. It wasn't the greatest of games. That very early goal, the mistake by the goalkeeper. So City go there tonight. On the face of it, from what I saw, I wouldn't expect them to have too many problems. But maybe at home they're a different kettle of fish as well.
Yeah, and I think they're a classic team that don't participate regularly in the Champions League. And maybe they lack to believe in the game against Spurs. They certainly didn't against Juventus. They should have won that game. They drew 2-2 eventually. They have rested 8 players from the weekend.
Wow.
So they go into this game and looking at the potential lineup tonight, and there's 8 players that didn't play at the weekend. So they're taking it serious. They've just got the 1 point. They can get out of this, the group, the knockout. They can get into the knockout stages, at least get into the playoffs. They're third in La Liga. They do have some really good players, some familiar faces. Jose Perez, Renato Vega, they bought from Chelsea, but we didn't see much at Chelsea. He's been really good at the back with Rafa Marin there. They've got their hands full with Erling Haaland, so that's the focus of all the Spanish press is about Erling Haaland coming to play in Spain. Obviously coveted one day by Real Madrid and Barcelona. So Thomas Partey looks like he's going to play. Nicolas Pepe as well out on the flank. So some familiar faces. And no, Villarreal up for this. This won't be an easy, simple tie for Manchester City, that's for sure.
Now, we're going to hear from Thibaut Courtois. We saw some protests, Terry, from the players. We can't hear from him. Oh, we won't hear from him. Okay, well,
I can do an impression, Paul.
Okay, well, he's a touch taller than you, Terry, let's be fair. But I
can do his nose.
He was talking about, we'll try and bring it to you in drive, but he was talking about the protests and how a lot of the players and a lot of the clubs aren't happy about these overseas games, the Liga games in the USA. We had players standing still in the Barca Girona game. I mean, the UEFA say they can't do anything about it, but it's not playing well with some of the other clubs.
No, it isn't. And I was working out there at the weekend, and every game had a 15-second delay. So the players kicked off, and someone just put their foot on the ball. The crowd booed and whistled, and then within 15, 20 seconds, the play started. So that was the complaint, and it was a little bit awkward for the Barcelona and Villarreal players, of course, because they're the two teams that are playing, but they went along with it as well. So, and one or two Barcelona players have mentioned the fact that they're not too keen on the idea. Yeah, it changes the complexity of the whole season with Barcelona playing one game less away from home on a neutral pitch in Miami. So I can understand it, but it's where we're at, and nothing like that surprises me now.
It's a terrible idea, though.
It is.
All this talk about player welfare. What good's that?
We had all that talk about the 39th game years ago that was shot down. So I mean, this is different, as you say. This is a competitive game within the season, and sets a pretty dangerous precedent. But Terry, enjoy the games tonight. Always a pleasure. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Andy. Thank you.
Terry Gibson, there, of course, former player and Spanish football expert, and we'll be bringing you Newcastle, Benfica, Villarreal City over on talkSPORT 2 and keep you in touch with Arsenal versus Atletico. That is us. Coming up next, the build-up to all that brilliant football this evening and lots more besides. It's Champions League Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bem.